morning on the couch at Fox and Friends that they have a suspect in custody. President Trump said all indications are this is the guy. Early reports are, according to multiple sources, including a Daily Mail, who has the largest article right now, Charlie Kirk killer identified as Tyler Robinson, I should say, after assassination in Utah. We're being told that he is a 22-year-old Utah resident. His father apparently was a 27-year veteran of the Washington County Sheriff's Department. That's what sources told the Daily Mail. His father then contacted authorities and secured his son before he could be taken into custody. Robinson was taken into custody around 11 p.m. Local time in southern Utah on Thursday night. He lives in a $600,000 six-bedroom home in Washington, Utah, 260 miles south of Kirk's assassination in Orem. They have not yet confirmed a motive. We are waiting on a press conference, we're told, with the FBI, with local authorities. We're told Kash Patel is there as well. We will be bringing it to you live. If you want to tweet, text, email, Facebook, Getter, Truth Social, let all your friends know. We are going to be carrying this live. We'll also bringing in some of our broadcast partners with us to discuss this, something all of us have been hoping and praying for, that there would be a fast arrest of the suspect. Yet there are still many questions. Where was the gun, the rifle, when he jumped from the building? Last night, there was footage released of him descending the building, the top, the roof, and yet there appears to be no rifle. People say, well, maybe he broke it down and put it in his backpack. Well, experts tell us breaking such a rifle down is not a quick process, but I guess we will find out. And of course, the other thing is, did he then, after disassembling the rifle, shoving it into a backpack, jumping down, taking off, did he then reassemble the backpack in the woods and leave it in the woods assembled? All right, there's still many questions. You need to be asking a lot of questions, folks. And we are going to ask a lot of questions. So we'll begin with this press conference, and then we'll be diving into who is this young man? What associations does he have? What associations? With what organizations? What was his and is his worldview, his philosophies, his ideas? We'll be covering that all throughout the day and live now here. Tweet, text, email, Facebook, Getter, Truth Social. Invite your family and friends to join us on Roku, on our website, on our app, however they want. I guess we're on YouTube as well. All the different mini platforms, too many to keep up with. We also have big breaking news for us here in the Mid-South. We're located outside of Memphis, Tennessee. President Trump today shocked many of us by announcing that he is sending in the National Guard. If necessary, he will send in the military to Memphis. Apparently, he was going to go to Chicago first, but now it's going to be Memphis, and we are all celebrating. I was at first conflicted about this a few weeks ago, but the more I thought about it, I thought, wait a minute, isn't this what our National Guard is about? It's in their name, National Guard. What are we dealing with here in many of our major cities run by Democrats? Well, we're dealing with, and apparently the Democrat mayor of Memphis is all for this, and well, they should be. We have FedEx here. We have St. Jude's here. We have International Paper here. We have AutoZone headquartered here. I did mention FedEx, of course. We have a lot of other major corporations. We got Elon Musk here and now as well. We have Google planning to put in a $10 billion data center just over the river on the other side of the Memphis bridge. But I was conflicted a few weeks ago, but the more I thought about it, I thought, wait a minute, this is what our National Guard and military should be used for, fighting international drug cartels and gangs like the Sinaloa Network, which we have evidence the Sinaloa Network is operating in Memphis. Who else should take on an international drug cartel, particularly if they are in a relationship with China? And we heard last week that Judge Jean, that indeed they have secured what would be precursor chemicals coming in to Memphis, or to the country from Mexico, tied back to the CCP. Well, who works with the CCP? The Sinaloa drug cartel. This is war. They've declared war in our country, foreign enemies, and they're using drugs to destroy our country and our cities and our children, our youth, and adults. So you really can't expect a Memphis police officer, many of them that get hired on DEI. The Memphis Police Department is too busy, frankly, policing themselves from beating the living tar out of people they don't apparently like. We all saw that heinous act 2 years ago, did we not? Where some guy got himself beat up under actually a camera to death. How they got off, I have no idea. But apparently they did from a jury. But the Memphis Police Department has to be busy policing themselves. And then the good cops that are part of the MPD, do you think they really have the skills to go up against the drug cartels that have automatics, that have machine guns? And there's evidence they do. Just recently, we saw a big shootout in Memphis. It was caught on a camera. And it sure looked to be a machine gun. So who else is going to deal with this, if not your National Guard, your military, when you're talking about an invasion by, well, really military-aged males working for international drug cartels tied back to China? So President Trump makes a shocking announcement for many of us here in the Memphis, Tennessee area, because aside from about, I don't know, Whitehaven, Orange Mound, about 2 other places I could name, Frazier, aside from about 4 places, Memphis is actually a really nice town. Drive through East Memphis and look at all the big, beautiful mansions and homes and, estates. The Mid-South's got a lot going for it. Many of us have said that for years, if they could just clean up the crime. And now President Trump is on his way. Here's what he said today on Fox and Friends. Again, we're waiting on the press conference from the FBI and the suspect that's been arrested related to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But listen to President Trump just about an hour ago.
I think maybe I'll be the first to say it right now again. We're going to Memphis. Memphis is
that's the next city.
Deeply troubled. And the mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor. The mayor is happy. And the governor, Tennessee, the governor is happy. Deeply troubled. We're going to fix that just like we did Washington. I would have preferred going to Chicago. I had a man in the head of a big railroad. They're doing a merger, and he wanted to come see me and all that stuff. And I asked him, because, it's one of the largest train companies, maybe the largest, so you can figure out who it is. Okay, Union Pacific. And he was in my office, and he started off 45 years ago with the railroad. It's such a great story. Sir, I'm a railroader. That's the kind of guy that should ride it, as opposed to a Wall Street guy that destroys the railroad, but he's good financially. Right? And he was a very impressive guy. And I said, so what do you think? Where should we go next as a city? Because we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do a few at a time. But we're going to straighten out the crime in these cities. He said, sir, Memphis would be good because he's on the board of FedEx. He said, when I walk 1 block to my hotel, they won't allow me to do it. They put me in an armored vehicle with bulletproof glass to take me 1 block. He said, it's so terrible. I said, let me ask you a question. So we're going to Memphis. I'm just announcing that now, and we'll straighten that out.
National Guard?
National Guard and anybody else we need. And by the way, we'll bring in the military, too, if we need it.
Good. We're bringing the military, too. So let me just tell you, all you international drug cartels and Sinaloa network, as I tweeted out today, and I hardly ever tweet, Logan runs that along with the other guys in the control room. But the old man figured out how to do it. And I got on there and I tweeted out, the Sinaloa network, you scum, you might want to pack your bags and get out of town. You might want to head over to California. I'm sure you're already heavily positioned there, but maybe Gavin Newsom will welcome you over there. But you don't want to stay in Memphis because President Trump is sending in the National Guard and the military. Now, we have, of course, camera crews, and we are going to be documenting the arrival of the National Guard and, if necessary, the military. We will be documenting it. We will be sending a cameraman onto the streets We will be interviewing average citizens in Memphis. We might even have that today, what they think of this. But as they arrive, we will be with our crews on the streets in Memphis, filming it and documenting the, shall we say, liberation of Memphis, Tennessee. The liberation of Memphis, Tennessee. It has finally come. I've been back living in the Mid-South now going on 21 years, and I can tell you, many of us have prayed for this day a long time because, again, Memphis has so much to offer. Yes, we have Graceland, the home of Elvis Presley, one of the greatest artist of all time, in my opinion. I'm a big Elvis fan, have been since I was a kid. I remember watching Aloha from Hawaii when I was like 4 years old, down in Jackson, Mississippi, in front of the television. We've got the Bass Pro Shop in our big pyramid. Have you seen the big pyramid on the river? Have you ever been to our big pyramid that they turned into the Bass Pro Shop? Well, it's awesome. We have the Peabody. We love the Peabody. We have spent many evenings at the Peabody, enjoying the fine restaurants and then some hot tea, maybe some hot chocolate out in the lobby, surrounded by a lot of other folks with the beautiful Christmas trees and the grand piano player at Christmas time. And people literally from all over the world. We have sat there in the lobby of the Peabody talking to people from Great Britain, talking to people from all over the world coming to visit Memphis. Go to Graceland to check out the blues and the jazz. Memphis has a lot to offer. It gets a bad rap. I've said it for years on my broadcast. It gets a bad rap because you're only talking about really 4 areas: Whitehaven, Orange Mound, Fraser, one other. I'm missing one, Logan. What's the other one? There's one other area I'm missing. Raleigh, thank you. Raleigh. Man, you clean those areas up and you watch our crime drop like a stone. Now, they're already bragging. They're already bragging that, that they've sent in more state troopers. The governor has made a big deal. Governor Lee has made a big deal that they're sending in more troopers and that crime has dropped to a major year low here. That's great. But the governor, what has he been our governor, 8 years? Where's he been? Where's the governor been? He's had 8 years. Hasn't he been our governor for 8 years, guys? He's had plenty of time to help us in Memphis. It's taken President Trump to get it done. So God bless President Trump. I told you guys there are areas I'm going to agree, areas I'm going to disagree, and when he does great, I'm going to praise him. And this is one of those days. This is one of those days. And I'm sure many of you are sitting in your your residence, your home, your business, people in Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago, saying, we wish he'd come here. Now, to all the conservatives that are saying, but this is a dangerous precedent. We've got the military on the streets. I get it. I was kind of in that mindset myself. But again, I had to think through it. I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't sitting in the military to deal with American citizens. This is sitting in the National Guard, different from the military branch, but national. This is also sitting in the military to deal with drug cartels that are tied back to China. This is a war. This is a breach of national security. Who else are you going to have to deal with it? This is their job. This is why we have a military. This is why many of us have been saying, get our military back home from overseas, protect our border, fight the drug cartels. Go look up the Sinaloa network. Just type in the Sinaloa drug cartel network and look at how many cities this international drug cartel tied back to China are all over this country. God bless President Trump. So we are going to go to this press conference by the FBI as soon as it appears. Let me know, Logan, when you hear the 3-minute mark. Now, we're being told, were you able to bookmark that, Logan? Because I'm not seeing it.
I bookmarked a bunch of stuff. Keep going down.
Keep going down. All right, there it is. We are being told, and I told Logan, I said, Logan, please go and search this kid, the reported suspect, Tyler Robinson, because I hear he's tied to Democrat Socialist of America. So I don't know if this is the same kid. We're going to have to find out.
Still on the shirt.
What's that, Logan? The
Open
kid,
the picture up. There you go.
that right there. So we're going to have to see if this is him, if this is really him. But this is him wearing what looks to be a Democratic Socialist of America shirt. Now, I'm not so sure this is the same kid, but it's apparently the current head, we're told, of the Salt Lake DSA. So we're going to have to get some facts straight on this, find out who is who. Why is it these guys, so many of them look the same? Skinny, scrawny little kids. But we will delve into the Democrat Socialist of America today because they, I believe, this is an organization we have talked about for so many years. And they are working on our college campuses and they want to radicalize our young people. Now, we are being told that he actually, the suspect named as Tyler Robinson, according to NBC News, citing 5 senior and law enforcement officials familiar with the case. That's who we're going to be hearing about. Now, apparently, because again, I got my team doing research, that picture we just showed of the man in the T-shirt with the Democrat Socialist of America T-shirt, apparently that is Jack Bellows. Jack Bellows. So again, we're going to be getting into more of this because there are some people online that are confusing Jack with Tyler. But we will be getting into SDA, Democrat Socialists of America. Okay? But we are just minutes away from hearing from the FBI. Let's bring in Colonel Rob Maness, Logan. I think he's ready. And he could be with us.
Getting him now.
Thank you, Logan. We have all been up early this morning. Have you seen the footage? Here's Air Force Two last night bringing the casket of Charlie Kirk from Utah back to Arizona. And here is what air traffic control had to say to Charlie.
South 1555 in phone, wind 2409, runway 26 to the left. Clear line 26, Southwest 1565.
Welcome home, Charlie. You didn't deserve it. May God bless your family.
Welcome home, Charlie Kirk. You didn't deserve it. May God bless your family. We're also getting footage of Charlie Kirk's wife coming off of Air Force Two last night with J.D. Vance's wife and Vice President Vance himself. We'll bring some of that to you as well. Here's a picture. Reportedly, this is his wife waving to the crowd, waving to supporters. President Trump was on the couch again this morning speaking about this. Let me see if I can bring up, we have Colonel Rob Maness. All right, thank you. Let's bring up Air Force Two so we can get the footage of her getting off the airplane with Vice President Vance and his wife last night. We'll bring that to you. Let's, here it is. In fact, here it is right here. Let me bring this to you. This is Charlie Kirk's wife getting off Air Force Two last night with the Vice President's wife, the Vice President right behind her. That's excellent. Way to go, JD. That's a class move there. Thank you for doing that. All right, we're going to be joined by Colonel Rob Maness now as we are literally waiting for the 3-minute notice. They came out and said that they will be trying to give the media a 3-minute notice before the press conference begins. They believe they have the suspect, Tyler Robinson. We are going to try to bring you as much as we can about him. Did he have any connection to Democrat Socialists of America? any of these organizations, that's a group we've been warning about for decades here on Worldview Tube, Worldview Radio, about radicalizing our young people. But we'll be doing a lot of deep dive and research today. But first, joining me is Colonel Rob Maness. We also, Colonel, announced today here on the broadcast, we played the video that I was watching live at the time, President Trump shocking the folks here in the Mid-South by stating he's bringing the National Guard to Memphis, if necessary, the military. I know a few weeks ago, I was thinking to myself, I don't know, is this setting a dangerous precedent or not? And the more I thought about it, I thought, wait a minute. These drug cartels, this is the Sinaloa network. They're in international drug cartel. They're in alliance with the CCP. This is the CCP using drug cartels to invade our cities, destroy our communities and our children and adults. So this is a war. Sure, that's what our National Guard should be for. I don't know what you think about it, but a lot of us in Memphis this morning, as I'm communicating with some other business folks and conservatives, we're rejoicing because we know Memphis has a lot to offer. You're not far from us. You have family there, around this Mid-South area. Memphis has so much to offer. We just clean up about 4 areas. What are your thoughts on this big announcement today? President Trump is sending in the National Guard, if necessary, the military to Memphis, Tennessee.
I think it's fantastic news, Brandon, as you live there in that area. So, as you know, the inner city of Memphis, Tennessee has long been overcome by massive amounts of drug and violent crime. Just as it has always been for 1,000 years, the Mississippi River is the highway, the superhighway across the center of these now United States. I live nearly at the mouth of it down here on the Gulf Coast in Mississippi. And New Orleans is at the mouth of the Mississippi River. I hope he sends them to New Orleans, too, because it's another cesspool of drugs and crime that needs to be cleaned out. And the police forces have been handcuffed through consent decrees, and quite often, especially the one in New Orleans. And those need to be removed so that the police forces can operate effectively and get these criminals locked up like they need to be locked up.
100%. And of course, I was saying before you came on, with DEI and whatnot, we've hired a Democrat mayor and city council and whatnot. We've hired a lot of police that should have never been put on the street. They're not qualified. We've had a lot of corrupt Memphis police. I mean, you go look it up. Boy, howdy, have we had a lot of corrupt military police. I mean, you're talking about the cops. Some of them are more criminal than the criminals. And I'm not making it up, folks. Go look it up. Go look it up. And many of these people, they couldn't shoot you if they wanted to. You zig, you zag, they're going to miss because they shoot in the dirt. I mean, I know of guys here in the Mid-South that have had to retrain some of these people to try to get them to qualify, and they shoot in the dirt. Can't even hit the darn target. But they're the right color or gender, so they get hired. So they're not even qualified to deal with drug cartels. We recently had a video. I don't know if, Logan, you can find it, bookmark it. We recently, and it's on a part of town we would never go to, that you guys would never coming to town go into, not unless you made a wrong turn. But we had a shootout just like a few weeks ago in Memphis. They had to be using a machine gun. I'm not an expert, but holy cow, it had to be a machine gun, and it got caught on camera at night. You think the Memphis PD is prepared to handle that? No, they're not qualified to do that. I mean, you're going to have to bring in the National Guard to deal with this kind of stuff.
Not just that, but you've seen the Memphis PD over the last few years and how their responses have been to violent criminals, violent crime being released, the leadership questioning every move, no matter what the color of the officer's skin, and bringing all this crazy race, DEI, woke, critical race theory crap into it. And what does that do? That chills the actions and the decision making of the police officers from the street to the chief and even the civilian oversight of the police force there. So I mean, every one of these blue cities has problems like that. And let me just say something. You hear these leftist idiots in the media say, "Well, these are in red states, et cetera." And the governor has control over it. Actually, the governor doesn't have control over New Orleans, Louisiana, The left's iron grip over New Orleans has been ongoing for decades and continues to be ongoing, and it's not going to stop. As a matter of fact, that's how they cheat in their elections there. When they don't want somebody in office, they increase the numbers of Democrat votes. All of a sudden, New Orleans Parish always comes in last. Quite frankly, I've seen it happen before my very eyes. I wouldn't have believed it, but somebody just told me that. But it's very corrupt. It needs to be those problems need to be addressed, and the only way apparently you can do that is from externally. The federal government has the financial resources to federalize the National Guard units and help bring those in, where the governor is not necessarily going to have those financial.
That's right. That's right. Of course, we did see that the governor Lee, who's I think been our governor going on 8 years, he's had plenty of time to try to help us out. So I don't know where he's been, but he's now sending. This was just September 10th, to send 50 state highway patrol troopers to Memphis to combat crime. Better late than never, Governor. I mean, you've been governor almost 8 years. Where have you been, right? So
yeah.
Apparently, originally he was opposed to this. But I know a lot of us in the Mid-South were screaming and hollering about that, saying, why would you stop President Trump from sending in the National Guard to clean up a town we live in? You don't live in here. You don't even live here. So apparently he tried to clean it up himself. Too late. Sorry. Daddy's coming in to take care of the problem, Lee.
Yeah, I'm sure. It wouldn't surprise me if he's a closet never Trumper.
Oh, you know that. Yeah, you know that. Logan, have we, do you have that video footage, the shootout in Memphis where it looked like a submachine gun? Did you find that one?
I'll look right now.
He's looking. It was all over. It was all over the place a couple weeks ago, but now when you need it, I can't get my hands on it, but the guys are going to try to find it. All right, so we've got a press conference with the FBI coming up any minute now. We're still waiting. They're running obviously way behind. It's supposed to be at 9.
Looks like they're moving on the podium on my screen here.
Okay, good. So as soon as they are there, we'll go to it. But there still are a ton of questions. Here we go. I think we're going to go to it. Here it is, right? Here we go, Logan.
In a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilize these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great, and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state. and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last two nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes. Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point we...
All right, we're going to break in here for a second to go to the Colonel, who has a heart out real quick. Colonel, but I'm glad the guy has been caught. We're going to investigate what's going on, but there's still a lot of questions. Where was the gun when he jumped off that roof? Where was it? Was it down his pants? Is he limping on the street in the video later because he broke his ankle, hurt himself, has a gun down his pants? Did he jump off the roof with a gun in his pants? a long rifle. That just seems a little odd when you see him, jump that far, and you really think you're going to jump with a rifle down your pants like that. And let's be clear. Thankful for the Cash Patel and those guys, but at the end of the day, the father turned his son in.
Yeah, the Discord traffic that was read opens a plethora of questions in my mind as somebody that's trained in protective services and supervised protection of highly valued individuals like the President of the United States before. That type of traffic sounds very professional. Again, all of these assassination attempts and now this assassination are very similar to each other. The trigger puller is generally young or somebody who's slightly off kilter, but has been connected in various means and ways to entities like Ruth at the golf course to Ukraine and the CIA, apparently, from what I can gather. So we have to ask those questions. And, some advice for Director Patel and the governor of Utah and all the law enforcement individuals: be 100% transparent so these types of questions can be answered, because the citizens of the United States are demanding to know what's going on. And we have the unfortunate ability to look back and see that things like the Kennedy assassination, the CIA was involved in now. So these questions have to be transparently answered for the good of the nation going forward, for this killing, this murder, this execution in public on television. I see that they're up there self-congratulating themselves and saying it's over, but it's not over. It's far from over.
What are they congratulating themselves for?
Answered.
Why are they?
Because they think they've got the guy.
Well,
they think
they've
got the guy.
But the guy they got, they didn't catch. The dad turned him in.
He turned himself in.
Well, how is it they can find all these grannies with J6, but they can't find a guy whose picture they had, and with all the facial recognition and all the cell phone towers and all the things going on, they can't find the guy, but boy, howdy, they can find Granny and kick her door down and drag her into the gulag for being on the Capitol on January 6th. And these guys, like you said, are standing there congratulating themselves for what? They didn't catch him. The dad turned him in.
Right. And they're initiating a celebratory atmosphere, and it's good. If it turns out, I mean, it's still alleged, you still have the right to a trial in this country, and you're innocent until proven guilty, but they have a lot of evidence stacked against him. But the evidence has to be fully vetted in public to answer the public's questions, because we just have a society now that cannot trust the institutions that we used to trust once, early in my lifetime anyway. From my perspective, and that's the piece of advice I would give him, because already people are saying, no way, this is the guy. I've seen it on social media already. It was too well planned. It was too well executed. You mean this guy, jumped off of a roof with a rifle in his hand, landed like a cat and started walking immediately as a part of the crowd, and he's just a kid, right? So these questions have to be answered.
I agree.
Traffic really has my attention. It's very professionally sounding. It sounds like communication with a contact that's part of a team that's helping the individual out. And as I've said already, these look like they're very well trained, planned, and executed, and they use individuals that they can recruit to do it, to be the actual trigger puller. We've got to get those questions answered. They've got to dig deeper than just this man. And he's not a kid. He's 22 years old, I believe. He's a man.
And what about Omar, who said something big was going to happen the next day at the campus?
Well, that's the other thing. Who's this guy been in contact with? What are his aliases on social media? He could be that guy. Who knows? Anyway, I have a heart out.
I'll let
Brandon.
You go. All right.
I've got to hit the street now. And I appreciate you having me on. And prayers for Charlie's family.
We'll get you back on.
Country.
We'll check in with you later today. Rob Manius, he's on every day here at 2 p.m. Central, 3 Eastern. Look at what Laura Logan put out. Very similar, isn't this, to what the Colonel was just saying. Someone said, have you seen the video of the shooter jumping off the building? That's not a professional. He could have broken his ankle landing like that. That's how he ended up with the limp. Laura Logan responds, yes, this is true. This kid is not a professional, but that does not mean you're not potentially looking at a professional operation. He may not even been aware of how he was recruited or used. That happens often. We don't know enough yet to be certain of anything, but typically they would use someone who is completely unwitting. I'm not looking at this incident in isolation, but how it could possibly fit into a larger strategy. Trying to understand what is the bigger picture or goal here with limited shifting information. Yeah, she's right. And we're going to be following this, of course, and continue this going. We now have mugshots coming out. We'll get to that here in just 1 second. We have mugshots coming out of the 22-year-old suspect, as Colonel Rob Manus just said, innocent until proven guilty. Logan, does Annie or anyone else on our team want to join us? Let's see here. Now, here are what it reported to be, and again, we have to be careful to make sure these are really pictures of him, but here are reported images of him supposedly practicing. This is what's online. Again, we don't know. That's what people are claiming. Sometimes this stuff turns out to be true. Sometimes it doesn't. We have pictures running around out there claiming that the individual was wearing a Students for Democratic or the Democrat Socialists of America shirt, which doesn't look like that was him at all. That's actually looks like it's another guy. So we have to be careful here. But there will be a lot of digging going on this fella, that's for sure. I want to go back real quick to Memphis. We did find, as President Trump has announced, he is going to be sending in the National Guard and, if necessary, the military to Memphis. Take a look. This just happened. I think this is dated August 13th. August 13th. So this happened, almost exactly a month ago. This was in a suburb, in Memphis, not a suburb, in Memphis proper. I'm guessing it was probably also in one of the zip codes where you don't really go, most of us. But take a look at this. Now that does look like... Now that does look like a semi-automatic to me. But yeah, this is the war zone that happens in some of the inner city of Memphis. And you're going to have your MPD, Memphis Police Department, deal with that. Most of them aren't skilled enough shooters. Most of them, if you've seen them, a lot of them aren't even physically fit to run a block. And you add in all the semi-automatics, and maybe I'm sure some of them with Glock switches can turn those things into automatics. And you're dealing with international drug cartels and gangs tied back to CCP and others. No wonder you got to send in the National Guard and maybe the military, as President Trump said today. So there you go. Now, for those of you coming to our national conference, we're not in Memphis. We are outside of Memphis. If you don't go to like Orange Mound and Fraser and a few of these other places, which again you guys don't even know where those are, you're fine. Just get on the interstate, come right to Collierville, Germantown. I've been here 21 years. All right. The same thing in Chicago area, Kansas City, St. Louis. There are bad areas in those towns. You just stay away from them, right? Same is true here. So don't let this stop you from coming here. But our national conference is coming up Friday night, October 3rd, Saturday, October 4th, in Collierville, Tennessee, not in Memphis. All right. So you can join us. Full details at Worldview store.com, worldviewstore.com. Let's dip back into the press conference, see if anything else, see if there's anything else going on still at this press conference with Governor, I think his name is Governor Cox. Let's see what's going on here. Nope, it's ended. So the press conference has ended. It's over. And we'll be continuing to cover this throughout the day. We are working to bring in some other guests here soon. So there you go. The big news today is a suspect in custody, and again, innocent until proven guilty. But the word is that this is a 22-year-old, a man by the name of Tyler, who was turned in by his father, who is reportedly a 27-year veteran of a law enforcement agency in the state of Utah. So while the congratulations are going around at the podium, they didn't catch him. His father turned him in. Why could they not catch him? I thought they had all these facial recognition and they could ping cell phone towers and all this great advanced stuff. But at the end of the day, they couldn't catch him. His dad had to turn him in. Glad he got turned in. But man, I just can't figure out how they can find these grandmas for J6. I can't find this guy. But we'll see where this goes. Because as Colonel Rob Maness says, just because they caught a guy that doesn't appear to be a professional doesn't mean this isn't still a professional operation. Absolutely. So many saying that. And do we know he was the shooter? Do we know he was the actual shooter? That's another thing people will be looking into and investigating. And how do you jump down off a building with a rifle in your pants? I think we have the footage of him jumping down off that building. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Here we go. Here it is. You can see him running across there and then hopping down. Where's the gun? Where's the rifle? Well, he just bent a leg. Now he just bent two legs. So you think he had a rifle in his pants? Now he's running. Does that look like a guy that's got a rifle in his pants? So what do you think? Disassembled it, stuck it in the backpack? Well, that takes time. And then he got to the woods and he reassembled it again and left it. Am I the only one that thinks this smells funny? No, I'm not. I guarantee you I'm not the only one that thinks this smells funny. So we'll continue to cover it throughout the day. Two big news stories today. Hey, we do have Annie. Let's go to Annie Cyrus. I wonder what Annie thinks of this. Let's go to Annie. Annie, welcome to the broadcast here at 9:40 Central, 10:40 Eastern Standard. This young man, 22 years old, the FBI and all those guys are congratulating themselves, but as I'm telling the audience, Annie, they didn't catch him. The dad turned him in. J6ers, they got rounded up fast. Grandmas got found out in a lickety-split. But they couldn't find this guy, but they can find grandma. And so they're congratulating themselves. But let's remind everybody, they didn't catch him. His daddy turned him in, thankfully, if this is really him. But it still smells like a professional operation. The colonel just said that. Laurel Logan is tweeting that this is how operations often work. You recruit someone unwittingly. Where is the rifle? Did he have time to break it down? Experts say no. It takes time to break down weapons like that. They're not easy to break down, according to experts. I'm not an expert in that field. I'm just quoting some of them who are out there saying this. Did he have the gun in his pants? No, we just saw him jump down off the roof and both his legs bend all the way, knees almost to the ground. Then he runs to the woods and reassembles the rifle and leaves it. I don't know. The whole thing doesn't smell right to me. I still go with this was a professional operation to some level. And some people had knowledge of it in advance. Who are these people tweeting about it? Who's Omar tweeting about it the day before something big's going to happen? What are your thoughts on all this today, Annie?
Good morning, Brennan.
Good
Happy
morning.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yay. Are we tired of all the winnings?
Yeah.
Yes. Last night, when the first update press conference took place, I believe I actually texted you and I said, what was that all about?
Yeah, exactly.
There were no updates. Cash Patel and Dan, but they showed up, but they had nothing to say. And that's when they that's when they played the video. And the two thoughts that immediately hit me. Number one, I'm like, where's your rifle? You cannot move that quickly, that easily, jumping off of the, not high, but enough of roof to ground with a rifle. Not if it was in your pants. It wouldn't. If it was in your backpack, I would see it sticking out. So that was my first question. I'm like, that's not the guy. If that is the guy, the rifle they discovered in the wood area is not the rifle. That was the biggest hole in the story. And then if you listen to the video from yesterday, the press conference, Governor Spencer constantly says, look at the pants. Look at the t-shirt, look at the tennis shoes, look at the pants. I can literally right now, give me 24 hours, Brandon. I will buy 1,700 of that matching pants, probably 3,000 of that matching shoes, and maybe 200 of that matching t-shirt and hat. The fact that he was emphasizing to identify him with clothing was my second red flag. I'm like, wait. You're telling me that there's a handprint, palm print on the roof. You're telling me there's a shoe print on the ground. Why are you asking people to go hunt people with the... First of all, it's been more than a day. I don't think these guys are still wearing that t-shirt. You're constantly pleading to the public to help you, but you're not giving public anything. I don't know what he was wearing where supposedly he was arrested, but I don't think he's wearing that anymore. And let's not mention, do we really think a 22-year-old, may Lord forgive me as what I'm about to say, look at some of the pictures of him released. You do realize, like, if you look at the pictures, the guy is cross-eyed, right?
No, I did not.
Oh, look at it.
That.
Seriously.
He's cross-eyed?
I spotted that. Yep. So 22-year-old with what could be an eye condition managed to one shot take out Charlie Kirk from that building. I'm sure there are plenty of Americans out there who will believe this because they need to believe it to heal and move on. I refuse to believe this young guy is the shooter. And as I said, the very day, I don't think we're going to ever know who the real shooter is. I think you call it a patsy.
Yeah,
I think this guy is the patsy right now. Nothing of this story makes sense. And they know they need to stop the bleeding. So there you have it. This guy is the shooter.
And was he put up there? Was he put up there?
Yeah, could be.
And
he doesn't have a weapon,
like you said, it's a
Brandon.
patsy, and the shot actually came from right below him. And that's the same thing we were saying about Butler. Remember that? Remember all the experts we had on? They were saying they were suggesting that the actual shooter didn't come from up on that roof. It wasn't that kid. That the actual shots probably came from down below. That the kid was just a decoy.
Exactly. And again, they're not giving public the full picture, Brandon.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I just got a text. I won't say who. I just got a text from Colonel Rob Maness. He mentions a national talk show host. He said the national talk show host name must have been listening to us because he's saying the same things right now. Folks, I cannot tell you how many of these guys, and I said their names, you'd know them, do their show prep watching our show. They quote from my book, Marxianity. They quote from my book, Grave Influence. They listen to Annie and I. They listen to Sharam and I. They used to listen to Usam and I. They listen to Leo and I. And then they're actually out using our phrases and saying exactly what we said. We get so many emails from people saying, we were listening to this national host, and they're saying it verbatim what you were saying just 2 hours ago. Now it's in a matter of minutes. Colonel Maness is like, so-and-so must have been listening to us. He's saying the same thing right now. Yeah, that's not uncommon. Glad we can do their show prep for them. Keep going, Annie.
Yeah, I think you should charge them. If they're taking your content, they should be at least promoting their source.
Oh, yeah. Well, some of these guys won't ever interview me. They want to come on my show and have me interview them, and I have, but they will never have me on their show. They want to introduce themselves to my audience, but they don't want to introduce me to their audience. I cannot tell you how many of these guys have done that. Oh, yeah, they're happy to come on my show. But I'm like, hey, I'd come back on yours. You want me to come on yours? Yeah, we'll get that done. Never happens. Now, all they want to do is harvest our audience. They never want to promote us because, and you know, that's the difference between the left and the right. The left, they all help each other. And the right, they shoot each other.
I was just about to say, following through what you said, that's part of our problem.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any unity. Right now, the social media is so divided on the right. It's scary. Those who believe this is it. See, I actually saw a post as soon as I opened my eyes. I had so many notifications on my phone. I normally try not to touch my phone until I at least had my morning coffee, but I grabbed my phone. Basically, notifications woke me up. And I look, I'm like, there are direct messages of, hey, Annie, they got him. And I responded to one or two saying that I don't think they got him. It's like, no, Trump just announced they got him. I'm like, no, what I mean is like him is not the shooter. And immediate response was, why do you have to turn everything into conspiracy? I'm like, what? What conspiracy? Does America realize we actually still don't know who killed JFK?
That's right. We still don't know the real motive behind the hotel shooting at the country concert in Vegas. That whole thing never added up, right?
Exactly.
And the people on the ground saying that there were multiple shooters on the ground, people saying we were running and shots were still behind us. We were dodging bullets while we were running on the ground around corners and whatnot. Yeah, you go watch some of the documentaries on that. That still does not add up. Do we ever hear about that? No.
Well, we still don't, as recent as last year, we still don't. They said they shot the shooter, but that was it. Did we get any information about the Pennsylvania shooter?
No, they were rinsing the blood off and cleaning the scene up before you could even finish an investigation.
Exactly. So it's not turning this into conspiracy. It's that looking at the pattern. Look, it's the pattern. It is repeating itself, but this time we need let me go there first thing in the morning. It's Trump administration, so we believe whatever they tell us, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not.
If this was exactly, but that's a problem. If this was Biden administration, George Bush administration, Clinton administration, Obama administration, nobody would believe it, and that is our country's problem. It's like, come on. A 22-year-old, really? With the video, they made it even worse. There is this rifle. How did he manage to do the running, get down on the ground, run across the street, get into the wood area? And by the way, why did he leave? Because on the video, looks like the rifle is creating no inconvenience, correct?
No.
Why would he leave the rifle behind then? Because normally you leave what you have if it's slowing you down, if it's creating a problem. Why did he leave the rifle behind then? Why?
Then did he reassemble the rifle and then lay it in the woods? That's what we're being told.
But why? The question, okay, let's say for a split half a second, just for fun, I would accept that. But why would he do that? Wouldn't that be another slowing down? It already slowed him down to take it apart, put it in the backpack. Why would he slow himself down again in the wooded area to reassemble it, leave it behind, and then run again? Why?
No, he wouldn't.
Give me one good reason.
No, he wouldn't.
Exactly.
Logan or Thomas, have we cleaned up the language on the Michael Savage clip?
I can't download it.
Oh, you can't download it. Can you ask Thomas to do it? Is that because can he do it in the control room, Logan?
No. I'll try again, but it's because it's an X live stream, not video.
It's an X live stream. All right. I wanted to.
Is it ongoing, Logan?
No, it's a clip from last night. I wanted to play what Michael Savage said.
Send it to me. I have an X video downloader on my computer. Send me the link. I downloaded, send back the file to you.
There you go. Send it to Annie.
Welcome
please.
to Friday morning live stream.
That's right. I want to play it, but he went on a tirade about a talk show host, and he dropped the F-bomb, and one got through last night on the broadcast, and so I'm trying to make sure it doesn't happen today. Here is this suspect, the 22-year-old suspect. This is a video going around, people claiming that it's him. I can only tell you this is supposedly him. Dinesh D'Souza just put it out, and Dinesh does pretty good work. So I've not played it prior to now, but now that Dinesh is putting it out, I'll trust Dinesh D'Souza and his team. But this is reportedly Tyler Robinson. Here we go.
Okay. Congratulations. You have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
Okay. I think Dinesh had a good comment. He said, if you have any doubt about the responsibility of academia in turning relatively normal kids into monsters, I give you Tyler Robinson.
That's again, if he is. No, I won't even say. If we buy into the scenario and the narrative and say he is the shooter, then again, what was his motive?
Yep. And here's his mugshot today. Apparently, they've already got a bulletproof vest on him.
I was just looking. I was about to say, is that a bulletproof vest that I see on him?
They've got him in custody, and he's in the control of the police, and they've already put a bulletproof vest on him. Wow.
That is just...
Are they concerned that someone's going to take out their guy? Remember Jack Ruby, right?
Yes.
Are they concerned somebody's going to take out their patsy?
Clearly they are. And let's not mention, you have, this is relevant.
No, it wasn't Jack Ruby. No. Jack Ruby's who shot him. Jack Ruby shoots Oswald. Let me bring that up. Everyone remembers it except for the young people. That's why we got to bring it up. Do you know what I'm talking about, Thomas? You know what it looks like to have Jack Ruby shoot him? Yeah, you remember that? You do? All right, well, that's good. What? Oh, yeah, you weren't born. I wasn't even born. Well, I have to play this stuff because a lot of the young people, they don't remember this stuff. Let's see if I can bring it up. I understand. It's violent. They're always telling you. All right, here we go. Let's play this just to get an idea. Here we go.
There is Lee. The police said, we're going to bring him down. You got about 5 minutes to get in position. I picked my spot. I pre-focused my camera. They're stepping into the opening. All of a sudden, somebody comes out to my right. Quickly, 2 steps, real fast. Oswald and the police stepped out. Ruby went that way, fired, and I punched the shutter. It was almost 2 o'clock by the time I got back to the paper, and they called me over and they said, do you have anything as good as this? And it was Jack Beer's picture, which was already on the wire. Jack always liked to get up high. He was standing on this little concrete wall behind us, and I really think that's why he fired his camera when he did, because he saw it happening first. So I went in, ran my film. Chief photographer was right outside the door, and I remember letting out some sort of a yell, and that's when we realized we'd beat our competition.
All right, well, there you go. So maybe they don't want this situation, so they apparently today have already put a bulletproof vest on the suspect while he's even in the police station. Okay.
This whole thing.
What's that?
Can I just use, I hope it's okay to use this word on air. This is bizarre.
Yeah, you can use the word. I thought you were going to use bizarre is an okay word. That passes the censors.
It is.
Well, Michael Savage used a different word last night. He used
he can sometimes be a little bit of a, yes, Michael Savage can
he just said, this is bull. You know what? He's not buying it. He was just livid last night.
It seemed like you can't buy it.
When I was playing that last night, Logan said, "Woo, that brings back memories as a kid." I said, "Oh, you remember?" He said, "Oh, yeah, I used to listen to Savage all the time." He said, "I that voice, the Michael Savage voice." Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's anyone who.
I don't have time to listen to Savage anymore, but I used to listen to him regularly.
Yeah, I would say I don't have time to listen to him either. Sometimes I try to catch him, but I agree. It's impossible. I'll go with the word I just said. It's bizarre to even entertain this idea. And then you have, of course, and Ben Shapiro's upcoming 4 events got canceled.
Really?
His
Wait a minute.
team canceled.
I don't know about that. Tell me about that.
Yes. So Ben Shapiro had an upcoming event, I believe 2 in California, and a book signing. I can't remember the state. They all got canceled. Now, of course, they phrased it out of respect. Okay. I mean, if you want to show respect, you actually show up. Canceling is not respecting, but whatever his team wants to say. So that got canceled. This is where it gets even more interesting, Brennan. AOC just canceled her event because she's worried of backlash. And then you have Nancy Pelosi, who permanently canceled all of her outdoor events. I'm like, what? Why? Like, Nancy just became relevant again?
Well, you know what? I think they're concerned about the
retaliation.
Oh, yeah. And trust me, don't be shocked, folks, if we have left-wingers taken out. I pray that's not true. But don't be shocked if you don't see this happen to left-wingers, and then they turn around and blame it on someone on the right. They get some patsy to set up on the right, and we're off to the races for what we all think this is, which is a manufactured situation, not manufactured in as people aren't being hurt or killed, but they are trying to manufacture chaos and civil war in the streets, and then this claim that it's, as they're already doing, that even the killing of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, some have suggested it was Kirk's own fault. It was Trump's harsh language. They're trying. It was his people that created this environment. We're hearing that. We have the clips. We have the videos. People saying this stuff.
Well, I sent you 3 screenshots last night, Brandon. I don't know if you got them, but as far as the concern for the right, it is a screenshot. I don't know. 30 of them, 20 of them of, people just literally listing names who should be next. You see Ben Shapiro repeatedly said Trump, Matt Walsh. They're naming these 3 people repeatedly on request of, can we do Trump next? Can we do Ben Shapiro next? So that's that. As far as when I said they're not done, they want more blood, they're proving it on online. But I would also add that it might be manufactured, but also, Brandon, I do see a lot of right-wing people who are talking about it. So we cannot necessarily think if it happens where a left activist or a transgender or one of the left politicians are attempted or successful assassination, we can't right away write it off as setup. It could be, there you go. These are the ones.
Now,
like
this
you
is
literally
on,
say.
What is this? Twitter? What is this?
No, I think it's called Sky Blue, or hold on, let me pull up
Blue Sky?
It's Blue Sky. Thank you. It's Blue Sky. They're all in Blue Sky.
And what is that for those who don't know? Because I never heard of that until yesterday.
Blue Sky apparently is kind of a very progressive leftist social media type of thing. A combination of MySpace and Facebook, but it's extremely left-wing, progressive left-wing platform.
Interesting.
And now they're, again, repeatedly Trump's name, Matt Walsh, and Ben Shapiro name are dropped. You see it. There you go, right? There says, next, Ben Shapiro. Can we do Ben Shapiro next? Matt Walsh next, please. It's kind of I think the disturbing part, not that it's shocking, but the disturbing part is the format. Like, next, please. It's very evil. It's like a menu, right? These are the available options of target. Pick your target.
Yep.
But again, going back to FBI, why is this website up and running right now?
Yeah, and these are all different screenshots. I'm showing all different screenshots just so people can see it.
Every user should be investigated right now. This is more than enough.
But I don't think the FBI could find these guys because they're not J6ers. But if they were J6ers, they could find them.
Yeah, exactly. Or if they were Islamophobes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But for some reason, the terrorist, the Islamic terrorist, the leftist terrorist, I don't know, they have some serious special technology that's like kryptonite to the FBI. They can't be found. And that, unless
his father
someone's father turns
held
him in. Exactly. Yeah.
Keep him in custody, citizen arrest until FBI arrives. And that's the thing. So if he was home, how was the home not already raided? Right? Isn't that what they did with J6ers? Within hours, they had everybody's address just from a bunch of cell phone footages. And, they were raiding all the houses. If they were there, they were arrested. If not, well, the family members were terrorized. But the fact that this guy's house, they didn't even go to his house, nor had a name for him. Again, good for anybody who out there is celebrating and praising the great work of law enforcement, but I'm not. This doesn't set well.
The governor, I don't know if you guys noticed, the governor, according to, I'll have to go back and listen, according to Katie Pavlich, Governor Cox said there are messages between Robinson and someone else on Discord, that's a social media site, I guess, about leaving a rifle at a drop point. Okay, so that right there proves conspiracy. So we are not conspiracy theorists, folks. We're not conspiracy theorists because the governor just told us there was a conspiracy to assassinate Charlie Kirk. Does anyone have that clip? Thomas, can anyone find that clip? I mean, I can find it. You guys can go back to bed. Let's see. Governor Cox. What's his name? Spencer Cox?
Spencer, yes.
Well, the clip is out there. Okay, here we go. Listen to this. This might be it. Here we go.
Indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
Okay, wait a minute. He acted alone, and yet we're told that Katie is tweeting that he said...
Yeah, but the statement was by a reporter, not the governor. The reporter said, regarding the messages in Discord, do you believe he acted alone? So governor didn't talk about the Discord message. The reporter is speculating that information.
That's right.
So Katie got it wrong. Sorry, Katie.
Yep. All right, we'll keep looking to see if he did say something later in that press conference like that. But that's right. And this, of course, is how things get spun up, isn't it?
Yes. And again, first of all, Discord, really, they use Discord to message each other? One of the most openly public.
Okay, well, let me go to this. Let me see what this is. We're all hearing it for the first time. Here we go.
Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique.
All right, so now we're having to recorrect ourselves again. Apparently, the governor did say that, so good work, Katie. Now, was this, I got to see what outfit he was wearing. Was that today's?
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah, that looks like it was today's press conference. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so this message about the rifle, was it before the shooting or after the shooting?
Well, it sounds like it was, well, that's a good question. Was that the rifle he was to pick up, or that was the rifle he was to pick up before the shooting, or the, yeah, let's listen again and see if he says anything in that regard.
Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique.
So is that before the shooting or after the shooting?
I would say phrasing of retrieve means after. Because you're retrieving what you already gave. But if the rifle is to be wrapped in a towel, how are you supposed to look for a unique rifle and engraving on the bullets?
Okay, Nick here. Now, apparently, what they're saying is the cops were walking around looking for the suspect, and they found the rifle. And of course, this individual is saying, where did they get the cardboard long box for the rifle? Were they carrying that around with them? Where is the towel the gun was wrapped in? Why did they suspect a towel was concealing a weapon? So these are already the questions being asked online by different people investigating and looking at it. You guys come back to me so I keep searching.
And here, so how, okay, let me ask this. Investigators talk to Robinson's roommate. The roommate shows them the Discord messages between Tyler Robinson and Tyler emoji user. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay. But then even though the contact Tyler emoji was in the roommate's device, then we're just clearing the roommate's name and we're not looking for anyone else.
That's right. Now, let's go back to that other video. Does anything look like the rifle's wrapped in a towel in this video when he's coming off the roof?
There is no towel unless it was taken apart, wrapped in a towel in his backpack. There is nothing on him that looks like a rifle. If you punch in right there as he gets, there you go. Look.
Does that look like a towel? That does kind of look like a towel, doesn't it?
That's his backpack.
That's his backpack. All right.
Wait, can I look at?
I don't know. That looks like
something else.
I don't know. Is that a towel or a backpack, guys?
That's a towel.
That is a towel. Logan thinks it's a towel.
100%.
But that towel, look how the towel kind of collapses.
Lies down.
It doesn't look like there's any.
It doesn't look like there's anything in the towel, does it to you?
No.
It's super loose. Look how it's flapping around like you would expect an empty towel to flap around. Oh, by the way, hey kid, go up on the roof, and when you do, be sure you come down with that towel, okay?
I've heard when you're trying to focus to take a single shot from that distance, you sweat a lot.
Yeah, that's right. Why do I need a towel? I don't know. Just bring a towel. Just bring that towel with you and be sure you have it when you come down.
Is there a timestamp on this video anywhere?
Yeah. It was at the very beginning. It's at 12:23:41.
23. So that's 3 minutes after the shooting. Even though they estimated between 20 and 21.
Can someone look up how long it takes to take one of those guns apart?
I'm looking it up.
I mean, if we could clean up the language on Savage, you do?
Well, the thing is, if
oh, wait a minute. We have the
customized-
language on. We have it cleaned up. Here we go. Let's go to Savage from last night. Michael Savage.
Conference by the so-called FBI. Something's wrong. I know I shouldn't do this. I'm risking an awful lot to go up against this FBI, the MAGA FBI. Something's very wrong with what I just heard. I mean, I watched it. I was hoping that they had caught the bastard who shot Charlie. So we saw a video of a person jumping off the roof. It looked very legitimate to me. However, there was no rifle in his hand. Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants leg all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate. We are not hearing or seeing reality. And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods has the barrel installed. So we're supposed to believe a guy is on the run after killing Charlie Kirk, and he pauses in the woods to reinstall a barrel, and then he leaves it for us to find, the FBI to find. I don't believe a word of it. I shouldn't do this. I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take the from this government. It's lying to us. Something's wrong. Something's so wrong. It's sickening. Look at this idiot. They found the rifle and they're getting the prints. Are you stupid? Are you that stupid? Are you that dumb? The man jumps off the roof. There's no rifle there. Oh, it's in his backpack. I just told you, moron, that this rifle doesn't break down that easily. And then it's supposed to be reassembled while he's on the run. Wait, I'll stop now and reassemble it and leave it in the woods in a box wrapped in a towel. He left breadcrumbs. Oh, and the trans stuff on the cartridges. Bull. Something is wrong with this whole picture. I am persona non grata in this White House. I will tell you right now, I flew with Donald Trump in Air Force One. I consider him close to me. I have not been able to get near him since this administration took hold. They have thrown me out. They've castigated, thrown me in the desert. They don't want me near them. They don't want real truth tellers near them. And we're supposed to believe they think we're this stupid? So Kash Patel is there and he doesn't say a word? And Donald Trump's in the Yankee Stadium? What the hell is going on here? I'm just an American citizen who's been in the business of observing since I'm 18 years old, and I don't buy one word of this narrative, not one single word. So I'm going to end in a moment. Before Charlie Kirk was born, I was telling you the truth. I've been a truth teller. I faced many death threats. I had to live in isolation for 30 years. I've had to live in hiding as a monk almost for 30 years. Be gone. To tell the truth, I'm not going to stop now. This is a government cover-up. This is total and absolute bullshit.
Okay, now, Logan asked Grok, how long does it take to disassemble a Mauser bolt action rifle? Grok says Disassembling a Mauser bolt action rifle like the Mauser 98 typically takes 5 to 10 minutes for someone with basic familiarity with the process. Time depends on experience, tools, and the extent of disassembly, e.g. basic field strip versus full breakdown. Here's a quick breakdown. Basic field strip, remove bolt, magazine floor plate, and trigger guard, 2 to 5 minutes. Unscrew the stock screws, 1 to 2 minutes. Remove the bolt by opening it, pulling it back, and releasing the bolt. Stop, 1 minute. Detach the magazine floor plate and trigger and guard, 1 to 2 minutes. Full disassembly, including sights, barrel, and smaller components, 10 to 15 minutes. Additional steps like removing the barrel from the stock, disassembling the bolt, extractor, firing pin, and removing the sights require more time and tools like a screwdriver, punch, and sometimes a vise. Factors affecting time. Experience. A first-timer might take 15 to 20 minutes, while an expert can do it in under 5. Tools. Having proper screwdriver and cleaning tools speeds things up. Conditions. Rusty or stuck parts, common in older Mausers, can add time. All right. So someone that's experienced can do it in under 5 minutes. How long are we from the shooting to the video where he's seen? What is it, guys?
Between 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay. So we're to believe this kid took that gun apart in 2 to 3 minutes. Let me
Yes,
play.
we're supposed to believe that.
I'm going to see this for the first time with you guys. Let's see what I looked it up on YouTube. Let's see what we got here.
Welcome to Guns, Gear, and Guns with Gary Gunderson. I'm Gary Gunderson. Today we are going to go over how to disassemble a 98 Mauser style bolt. To begin, you have to remove the bolt from the rifle. Also, make sure your safety flag is in the upwards position.
I'm not even sure that's the same kind of gun, so I'm not going to watch that. I mean, surely that gun looks a little old to me. It's way too old compared to what it looked like he had. We need to try to find one, guys, if you could help me find one that looks like a newer version. That one looks way too old. Let's see. Where's that? Yeah, let's go to that, please. There's all the parts there you got to be able to put together and take apart. Let's open up the phone lines. What do you guys think about that? Logan?
I'm not there. I'm about to leave right now.
But let's open the phone lines. Can you handle that in there by yourself? We got anybody else in the crew that's coming in early?
I'm heading in.
All right, Logan's heading in. All right, let's open the phone lines. What is the number? I haven't given out so long. 901. He's got to find it too. Is it 316? 901 316 what? 8404?
Yep.
901, boy, we haven't given that out in a while. 901 316 8404. What are your thoughts, Americans? 901 316 8404. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions. Up early today, edit by 6 a.m. this morning, knowing that a bunch of news was coming in, more than we even knew, but knew it was going to be a big day. We have been on the air an awful lot the last couple of days, 7.5 hours the day before. And here we are back at it again today. And we're pushing it all out for free. We haven't stopped once for a commercial break. So here's what I'm going to say. Do you appreciate what we're doing? Do you appreciate the questions we're asking? Do you appreciate the citizen investigations we're doing live? If you do, we need your support. There goes the phone. Please go to worldviewfoundation.com. Make a contribution now, will you guys? Help keep us going. Worldviewfoundation.com, worldviewfoundation.com. Don't forget, we have our Sunday night church service on Sunday night. I'm teaching through the book of Revelation right now. Be back in Revelation chapter 20. I know, Dolly. Did you turn around, scratch, make a bed in that pillow? You good? I'll be back Sunday night, 8 p.m. Central, Revelation chapter 20, 9 Eastern. Worldviewfoundation.com, worldviewfoundation.com. Let's go to Tim, line 1. I'd love to hear from some of you guys what you think of this, but also some of you that have maybe worked with this gun. Because someone's got to help me. I'm not an expert on guns. I own plenty of them, but what is a Mauser? Is that also like a 308, or is that something completely different? Because I think I own a 308, but I've never fired it personally. Let's go to Tim. Tim, are you there?
I am.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, a Mauser is an older style 30-06 is what the caliber they claim that was used. But an old rifle like that, where you were looking at Grok, how to break it down, you wouldn't have to take the trigger guard off of it. You could just take the barrel from the stock, but you'd still have a barrel that's as long as, from the tip of the barrel to the end of the barrel, and then the stock would be, probably 3/4 of that length. But it's a real tragedy that what has happened, and just for the colleges to be complicit in brainwashing these kids, it needs to be stopped.
100%. So, Tim, I'm so glad you called in. So we were hearing earlier a 308. So a 308 and a Mauser are totally different guns, correct?
Well, it's different. You can get a Mauser in different calibers. I mean, 30-06, 308.
Okay.
I heard the same thing y'all did about the 308 in the beginning, but last night I was listening to some stuff and they said it was a 30-06 round, which is what I hunt with.
And how long would it take you to take that down, take that gun apart?
Well, there's probably one screw that would separate the stock from the barrel, and then you'd have two pieces, but you wouldn't take down the trigger mechanism off of it. You wouldn't take off the scope, of course. I mean, if you did all that, of course, it would take an expert 30 minutes to break everything down to put it all in a box.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand how they got video of the dude both going to the roof and coming back off of the roof, and you never once see a rifle. And if you watch when he jumps off leaving the roof, when he jumped off of it, there was no way that man had a gun down his pants legs because his leg was bending as he was running. Now, he might have had a limp, but still, you're talking about putting a broomstick in your leg of your pants.
So you're saying that's how long it would be? How long would it be? You say broomstick. How long would it be? If you broke it down the simplest way, how long would it be, Tim?
Well, your barrel mechanism would be from the barrel to where it fits into the stock. So you're probably looking at, I don't know. I'd have to measure it, but it would still be hard to handle with a long barrel and a stock, because the stock is going to be just a smidgen shorter. Because if you looked at the picture that you just showed, the stock stops, 12 inches before the end of the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have that piece, because you're not going to break that stock down. That stock is a solid piece of wood.
Mm-hmm. So we don't know what year it was, do we? So I guess, Tim, I'm wanting to get a video or a picture of what we think the gun would look like. Do you know? Have we been told?
I haven't seen anything on it, but a Mauser is an older antique weapon.
Okay, so the gun that I brought up earlier then, you're telling me
yes.
The gun I brought up earlier, I got off that video because I thought, well, that looks too old. So you're telling me that might have been a good representation of this gun, of this weapon?
Very well could have been.
I'm going back to it. So you're saying, wow. Oh, now, have we gotten a picture? But we've gotten a picture, right, that the authorities have released?
I haven't seen one.
Well, let me go to that, because the authorities supposedly have released, we showed one a while ago, if that's really the one. The authorities have supposedly released a picture of the gun. And does that look like a gun found in Charlie Kirk shooting?
See, most of the weapons nowadays, especially your assault rifles and your hunting rifles, I mean, they're putting synthetic stocks on them in modern times. But that weapon that you showed, that is what I know a Mauser to be, because I have one like that, but it's a 30-06 caliber.
All right, so this
for a man to get shot at 200 yards with a 30-06 caliber, because I was actually watching Charlie Kirk's event there when it happened, because I've been following Charlie Kirk for 10 years or more, probably a little bit more than 10 years.
Now, is this scope on backwards?
No.
Huh?
I wouldn't say it was. Scope's only going to go on one way. You're only going to be able to view out of a scope in one direction.
Someone says the
Otherwise,
photo's
you're
not very
looking at a
good, but
long
the front.
tunnel.
Someone said the photo's not very good, but the front ring is barely attached, and the scope is probably mounted too low. That's not on backwards. It's your classic hunting rifle. The scope is a bit small for the rifle, but still fits the rings. What is impressive is the scope had to be zeroed before the shooting with no less than 25 degrees or less groupings to make the kill shot from 200 yards.
I believe that for sure. You're not going to disassemble a gun and take a scope off of it and reassemble that gun in order to have it, firing accurately in the amount of time that the guy evidently only had permitted to him.
Yeah, because there are other people saying it's not on backwards, because some people were saying it was on backwards.
No, it's not on backwards.
How long do you think it would take to take that gun apart if you were doing it? How long would it take you, Tim?
Well, how far do you want to tear it down? Do you want to tear it down just enough time to hide it?
Yeah.
You just take one screw out of it, and the barrel would come off and stop.
Okay, just so everybody knows, that barrel, that's the piece that goes into the wood, so that all that piece going from where the wood starts all the way back, that whole piece would come out. And that's what?
Yep.
3 feet long, probably?
I'd say less than 3 feet, because most of your long guns, I would say, I've never measured one, to be honest with you. Like my Browning bolt action 30-06 that I have, that I hunt every day, every season with. I mean, that gun, if I put the butt of the gun down on the floor, it would probably stop at my waist, and I'm 5'8".
So there's no way he had that in his pants and jumped off that roof we were showing earlier.
There's no way on God's green earth you're ever going to make me believe that gun was in that man's pants leg. He'd be walking like with a stiff leg if he did. You wouldn't be able to bend your leg. And then you would see the stock or the other end of the barrel sticking out of the pants. You'd be able to see the outline of it.
Yeah, and when he jumped, Tim, wouldn't it have ripped his pants, or at least stuck? I mean, he could have risked stabbing himself in the side with it, but it certainly would have come up off of his pants, come up to his waist, right?
Yeah, I've never seen the man have a weapon. That's what gets me about. And after you playing that Savage bit that y'all have on him, after watching that, I'm kind of leaning towards Mr. Savage's opinion after that, because, like I said, I didn't see that man have a gun anywhere on his person going onto the roof, and he definitely didn't have it in his hand coming off the roof. So I've never seen the outline of a gun. I mean, the pictures they showed of him coming up the staircase prior to the shooting, you could see his phone in his front pocket.
Yes, that's exactly what I said to my wife last night. I said, honey, isn't that an outline of his phone in his pocket? And can't the FBI ping and get his phone? Can't they do that? And can't they, now that they know who he is, for sure, know his exact ID from his phone and be pinging it and tracking him?
But I feel for Charlie Kirk's family and his close friends, because Charlie Kirk was he was what America needed today.
Yeah, he is, Tim. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim, for calling in. Great call. Where are you from? Where are you from, Tim?
I grew up in Oklahoma, but I live in West Central Georgia now.
Well, glad you called in. I hope you'll listen, and hope you're a regular listener.
I am a regular listener. I'm supporting y'all every way I can.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you, my friend. Call in again, will you?
Will do.
Tim checking in. Wow, I'm glad he called in. We got such a smart audience. Sandy on line 4. Hi, Sandy. Thanks for calling in today.
Hey. All right. I just wanted to comment on the video that you played, that it looks like he has a limp when he's walking in the subdivision.
Oh, yeah. Let's go to that. Yeah.
I had seen an interview, I believe it was last night, and the gentleman that was speaking said that the house that he was walking in front of, that I guess was a doorbell camera.
That's right.
Was his aunt's house.
That's right. And the man you're talking
I don't
about
know
is Phil Lyman, who was my guest last night, who had not seen the video footage or the picture of the roof sniper nest until he was live on the air with me. And he said, I told everybody that's where I thought the shot was coming from, and I was right below that. And then he gets on with Kaylee, and she shows him that ring video footage, and he's like, hey, this is the first time I'm seeing this. That's my aunt's house. So keep going from there.
Well, I thought I understood them to say that that video was taken, the time of the video was before the shooting. So my thought was, when I saw that and they said, well, this is him walking before the shooting, I thought, well, maybe he's trying to walk with a limp to try to throw people off. You know, and maybe this whole thing was to throw people off of who the real shooter is. Maybe he's a decoy.
And was that, I think that was after. I'm going to have to double check if anybody can help me find that footage of him, Charlie Kirk shooter, after shooting. I thought that was after, based on the way Phil was talking about it. And people are saying he was probably limping because he hurt himself when he jumped off the roof.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing just, I'm like the gentleman you played the video just a few minutes ago. It's just not adding up. And with all the doubts we have about Butler and some of the other shootings, and these young men all seem to fit the same profile, it's just too convenient. I'm just not buying this. It's just not adding up to me.
Not to me either, Sandy. Now look at Sandy. This here says 11:49. If their clock is set correct, but you don't always trust these clocks. I mean, how many of us have had cameras and clocks that weren't adjusted right? But the newer ones normally do get it right. So is this before? And is he walking with part of the gun in his pants right there?
Well, I wondered about that too, but if you watch his gait very closely, both of his knees at one point or the other are bending. And I'm thinking if you've got...
Hop in there, Annie. What do you think?
Sorry. If it's 11:49, it's before the shooting, because the shooting took place at 12:20 or 12:21.
Now it's after the shooting. So now we've gone from footage before the shooting to now footage after the shooting. And that was him in the background, not the couple walking there. So we'll see him pop up again, possibly.
No.
No.
And I would say the time is correct, because all of these the smart cameras of houses now, they work like our cell phones. It's automatically set.
Mm-hmm.
It's not manual, so the time must be correct at 11:49.
So, Sandy, you're not buying the government's narrative right now.
I'm not, absolutely not. And it just makes me I really had high hopes for Patel and Bongino that we would get the truth about things. And I'm really wondering, if this is a cover up, who are they covering for and why are they covering it up? And another thing really fast I wanted to point out was that really stuck out to me, because I've been following you for a long time, but the Muslim factor here, the dangers that we're facing. And I know that not too long ago, Charlie was speaking out about Islam and the instrument being, they were being used to slash the throat of America, that comment.
That's right. And you know what,
And
Sandy?
immediately, I thought, is this retaliation from that group?
Yeah. And you know, Sandy, I got a text last night from someone that was inside the government tracking ISIS, someone that I personally know very well in the intelligence arena who was involved in tracking ISIS, who texted me last night and said, I just have to share my theory with somebody. And I am not taking Islam off the table as being behind this in some way.
Yeah.
I bet Annie isn't either, Sandy. Are you, Annie?
The moment I joined you on the 10th, September 10th, the day it happened, as everybody was focusing on the left and the transgender movement, I brought up the whole, don't forget all the pro-Hamas students he debated.
Mm-hmm.
He also has done a lot of direct talk about Ilhan Omar. He's done Sharia. He discussed Islam. So yes, I brought it in immediately, and I still don't think this was some 22-year-old kid. By the way, I just sent you a picture, Brennan. Now they're setting up the narrative. The father is a conservative Republican, pro-gun. He grew up in a very Republican. There you go. That's the father. So the narrative is shifting already that this guy was not some leftist, whatever. I'm not going to use the terminologies that are being used online, but the narrative is now, see, he grew up in a Republican, conservative, pro-gun, pro-America family. We might start to see why he was chosen as the patsy.
But if you think, I mean, if you're looking at the transgender aspect, like some of this other stuff has led us up to believe this stuff, the transgender movement has very deep ties to the deep state. So, I mean, there's just so many things here to look at. And I know you have other calls to take, Brandon, so I'm not going to take any more time.
Well, thank you,
but
Sandy.
I am registered to come. I'm registered to come to your event. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on the air, but I live near where you live.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
And there is a faction in, I'll just say Washington Street, if your investigators can check that out.
Oh, yes, we already have. Let me just tell you, we have, and I alerted one of my friends in law enforcement here in the area, and they immediately responded back, said, oh, yeah, very aware of this. And there were 50 of those guys across the street from my house last night having dinner on the driveway. 50 of them. 5-0. 50,
well, I pass by that location at least twice a week to do with my job. I have to go down that street twice a week. And there is always a large gathering there, and I'm just very suspicious. I get chills every time I pass by.
Yep.
That something's not right.
Yep.
With that.
Yep. 100%.
Okay.
Thank you, Sandy. Be safe. Be safe.
Okay.
What did you just send me, Thomas? Where is that? Oh, on the casings? Yeah. Fired casings. Notice, quote, notices, bulges, OWO. What is this? Question mark. I was on a fired casing. Unfired casing. Hey, fascists, catch. 3 down arrow symbols. Unfired casing. Oh, Bella. Ciao, Bella. Okay, whatever. Oh, that's a reference to an Italian anti-fascist song. And then the last one, if you read this, you are gay. What does LMAO stand for? Oh, laughing my blank off. Okay. Annie, you want to make a comment or go back to the phone lines?
I agree with both callers. I agree with you. It's not fitting. I'm sorry. There are too many holes in the story. And I think I know exactly who they're covering for, but then
I would say,
I'm just a paranoid Islamophobe.
Yeah, that's right. But I would say they're covering for the Muslims because we can't blame it on the Muslims if we're going to have peace accords and big rich deals with a bunch of Saudis.
Yes, and we also cannot counter the pro-Palestinian students narrative. We shouldn't do that. And we have always avoided admitting the red-green axis in our country.
Yep.
Put out all together. But again, unfortunately, and as I said, they're already changing narrative. So we're going to even step aside and take it far from liberal issue now, because he grew up in a conservative, American-loving country family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not going to get the answers.
Phone call still, Tommy? 901-316-8404, 901-316-8404. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions. Who's next? I'm sorry. Who? Zoe on line 3. Is this Zoe from Illinois?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Zoe.
Hi, Brandon.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Please give me a couple minutes. I've got several things I want to say.
Go for it.
First of all, this all turned me into a Kirker. One of my friends a couple days ago when it happened said, well, she's a Kirker, and she'll be really upset. And I wasn't. Well, now I am. A Kirker has been born, as he called it, my friend.
Wow.
And it was a compliment, but I didn't deserve it. But anyway, I have a stupid question before I go on with my other couple comments. My stupid question is, could he have thrown the gun off the roof?
Well, we don't have a video. We don't see him throwing a gun off the roof anywhere. We don't see him picking a gun up.
But if I were, I'm a dumb woman. If I were trying to get something like that down to the ground, I would do that.
Yeah, you would throw it off the roof, and did someone then
and then
pick
go
it up?
retrieve it if I wanted to.
Right, but we never see him doing that. We see him jump down off the roof and run away from the building.
Okay, and there's no way it would have not been. You wouldn't see it. Okay,
No.
Okay. Well, that's my okay, and then I just don't. I'm not buying this story at all, and either. And so that's basically, I had a couple other things, but I've forgotten them. I'm just too excited and happy to get through in the call.
I met Charlie. I emceed an event and co-hosted it and produced it with Logan and Mike Lindell. He was my motor coach. But I have to tell you, I didn't have time to follow Kirk.
I didn't either.
And I don't have time to follow a lot of people because I'm so busy doing show prep every day to be on the air 3 to 4 hours a day myself. And I've watched more of Charlie Kirk since he was killed than I ever have. And I did not know. I did not know that Charlie Kirk talked about Christian worldview like I do. I didn't know that Charlie Kirk defended the Bible and explained the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament. I didn't know he did. I didn't know he even knew that kind of stuff. So watching Charlie now, I'm like, wait a minute. This guy isn't just a conservative. This guy was a staunch Christian, right? I mean, I knew he was a Christian, but he was into apologetics. He was into apologetics, and for those who are new, don't maybe know what that word means. It doesn't mean he apologized for being a Christian. It means he gave a defense for the Christian faith, and he would go into the internal and external evidence. In fact, I heard a video clip of him moments before he was killed, talking about the authenticity and veracity of the Bible and internal and external evidence. This is what you do when you're involved in apologetics. I said to my wife, one of the last things I said, Zoe, to my wife last night before I went to sleep is, I believe Charlie Kirk was killed not because he was just a conservative. I believe he was killed because he was a conservative and a committed Christian. I believe they needed to kill and wanted to kill a conservative and a committed Christian because I think they are looking for a backlash from both groups.
Yes, and remember, martyrs are the blood. I said that wrong. The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. And the blood of the martyrs, it's lit a fire under me. I am a Kirker now. I will be going to Turning Point, and I will be doing anything I can do now. I admire him. I just am ashamed that I did not realize about him what he was. Yeah. And I didn't deserve the compliment that I got, and I cried over it. It made me.
Well, you're a Kirker now. I like that.
I'm a Kirker now.
I like that quote, and we've used it so many years, that it is the blood of the martyrs that waters the soil for the seed of the gospel.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Zoe.
It's so true. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, hon. Let's go back to you real quick, Annie, if we go back to calls. 901-316-8404, 901-316-8404. Before we go back to the phone calls, and folks, your thoughts, your comments, your questions, are you buying this?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking the audience. Do they buy it? I know you don't, Annie. Are they buying it? 901-316-8404. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions. Annie, what do you make of one of the last things I said to Melissa last night was, hun, I think they went after him and killed him because he was not just a conservative. I think they went after him because he's a staunch Christian now. Because, again, I started watching some of his videos last night. I said, honey, do you realize he was involved in apologetics? Do you realize he was talking about and defending the Bible? I said, he's not just, I don't think they're looking to just incite conservatives to get out there and be involved in a clash, but now Christians, and to awaken the opportunity now to say, if there's a response, okay, if they can do a false flag response or convince somebody that is a Christian to do something dumb, they can say, you see, we told you these Christians are dangerous terrorists. I think people will say, well, why Charlie? Why Charlie? Now I think I know why. Because he wasn't just a conservative, but he was also a very committed Christian. What do you think about that, Annie?
I will agree, and I almost want to say we can't even say Charlie was a conservative. If you listen to a lot of his debates, especially last year, he was a Christian constitutionalist.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it always seemed, look, a lot of people
Was he a libertarian? Was he a libertarian?
I was just about to say, a lot of people, Brandon, call me a conservative, and you know I'm not, right? But because I am very much attached to what's constitutional and what's not, I will automatically sound like a conservative. And I think that's what Charlie was.
And you don't call yourself a conservative. You call yourself what, a constitutionalist?
Yes.
Okay.
I call myself a constitutionalist. And on registration of papers, I'm independent.
Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to be, you don't want to be, by saying you're conservative, you don't want to be thrown into the crowd of people like Sean Hannity and other people like that, right?
Correct. And again, I do a lot of, like, last 9 months, if I do sit here and say I'm a conservative, all the conservatives are going to hold it against me of what kind of conservative are you that you're constantly criticizing the conservative administration. I disagree with as much of the left as I disagree of the right. Because to me, both sides have walked far away from Constitution. They call themselves conservatives, but to be honest, Brandon, they don't hold the conservative values anymore. They don't. It's very much blurred into whatever fit their narrative. But yes, Charlie Kirk was a believer.
Mm-hmm.
And that played a huge role. I will say this, and to your audience, Brandon can vouch for it, agree or disagree with it. This is just my own personal opinion. When there was a huge concern in, the cancellations of Ben Shapiro, I actually personally said they won't go after Ben. They won't. And I was asked, why are you so sure? I said, they're not going to kill a Jew. That doesn't help their narrative. They will assassinate Christians. I said this a day ago. And no disrespect to Ben, and I pray that he's always safe, but these political assassinations are going to be targeted at Christians, exactly for the reasons you said.
Mm-hmm. They really want the Christians to rise up so they can fulfill the narrative, which they started with the DHS document under Barack Hussein Obama. That potential domestic terrorists were people interested in the Bible and end-time prophecy. Let's go back to the phone lines. I'm sorry, you said it and I forgot. Christina, thank you for calling in, Christina.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Yes, I just wanted to say I'm a regular listener and supporter. I'm down here in Southeast Georgia. I share your program with my friends here, and I just want to thank you for your dedication to the gospel and the truth.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say except this. Until they come clean with who assassinated John F. Kennedy, I mean, what can we believe about what they say on any future assassinations? That's really all I wanted to say.
Well, you're right. 100%. And they keep telling us they're going to release all the files and they get drip, drip, drip. And then we're told we're going to release the Epstein list and that there's an Epstein list and it's on my desk and there's videos. And then all of a sudden there's nothing. It's a conspiracy. Are we really going to trust these agencies?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you for supporting and calling in. 901-316-8404, 901-316-8404. Again, Christy? Christy, line 1, 901-316-8404. Christy, welcome. Thank you for calling in.
Hi, thank you so much. Sorry about the barking schnauzer.
Hey, I have 2 mini schnauzers. What do you have?
Just the one. And
Is
his
it a
name
mini?
Winston.
Is it a mini schnauzer?
It's a mini schnauzer, and I'm so blessed with him. But
We
he
love
does
them.
like
They're great dogs.
They are. I was just calling Brandon and Annie. You know, the reason they had to go after Charlie is he was an effective leader for our young people. I have 3 daughters. 2 are in college. 1 is in graduate school. And Charlie was making a difference. He was making a difference with our young people, our next generation, the leaders of our country. And they just saw him as a threat. They had to take this man out.
Yep.
And it's not, it's clear to me that's what happened. So I'll just go ahead and go offline.
Well, I'm glad you called in and pat the dog for me. Say hello to the dog. I just wish I had known that Charlie was so much into apologetics. I didn't know that till this week. I mean, I'm sorry. I know a lot of you are like, duh, of course he was. But again, guys, I live in a bubble to some degree when it comes to what other people are saying on their shows because I don't have time. Like I told you, I used to listen to Michael Savage every day for years, almost every day. Logan heard the voice of Savage last night when I was playing. He's like, boy, that brings back memories of you listening to him when I was a kid. I'm like, I know, I haven't listened to him in so long now because I'm just so busy that I don't have time. I'm just researching and studying for my own broadcast, which is a full-time job. And so I didn't have time to really find out what Charlie was up to. And in regards to the apologetics part of his ministry, if I had known that, I would have been reaching out to him and getting him on my broadcast and letting him share about apologetics, because that's what we do. That's what I've been doing since 1990. That's, I founded the Worldview Weekend, an apologetic worldview organization in 1993. So, which I think is the year he was born. So I think the more I think about this is they targeted him because he was a Christian, because he was, as the last caller just said, an effective evangelist, always sharing. I didn't realize he was sharing the gospel so much. My wife has spent a lot of time doing some of the homework for me on him. And she's like, Brandon, he was always sharing the gospel with people in his presentations. I'm like, man, we really missed an opportunity to have interviewed him and talked about these things with him. I thought he was just more political against the LGBTQ thing. And now I'm hearing this and I'm like, wow, he was one of us. The other areas I've disagreed with him on some things related to Middle East and whatnot, but I disagree with some of my own talk show hosts on some of those issues. Doesn't mean I'm not 99% or 92% or whatever in lockstep with them, right? And as Ronald Reagan said, someone that you disagree with or someone that you agree with 80% of the time is not a 20% enemy. And I think we would have agreed with Charlie way more than 80%. Everything I'm hearing, I would agree with him a pretty doggone into the 90s, well into the 90s. So I think there's a lot of people that have been introduced to Charlie in the last 2 days. 901-316-8404, 901-316-8404. Go to Allison on line 4. Tommy, you're doing a good job in there by yourself. Is anyone coming in to back you up? Okay, 901-316-8404. Allison, thank you for calling in.
Hi, Brandon. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes.
I'm calling from California. I was born and raised here, but we moved to Texas in 21. And I'm here visiting with my mother and helping to take care of my grandmother, who will be 103 this month.
103? What does she do?
Well, right now, she doesn't do a lot.
No, but I mean, what does she do to be 103? I got to do this. Other than my Bella Grace and my Numi, my Galatana, what is she doing?
I don't know, but she's always lived healthy. She's lived by prayer. And my great-grandmother, as a matter of fact, was a minister. Started a church in Decatur, Illinois, and she prayed for all of us. I mean, before we were ever a sparkle in our parents' eyes, she prayed for us.
Isn't that something?
And Grandma has done the same. And now she's battling with dementia, and the doctor says her pacemaker is doing 100% of her heart work for her.
Wow.
So, and she keeps saying every day, she says, Lord Jesus, I just want to be with you.
I have a mother-in-law that says the same thing. She's ready to go.
I know.
She's ready to go.
I know.
Well,
Yep, she sure is.
what do you make of all this?
So, well, I had 2 quick points I wanted to make. Christine, your last caller, I think she hit the nail on the head, but I wanted to go one deeper. Charlie was 31. He will be 34, or he will be 35 at the next election.
Mm-hmm.
He is eligible to run for president either then or in 2032. And as a conservative leader and a role model for our young people, he was an even bigger threat than you could imagine. I mean, imagine someone like him running for president. And then the other point I wanted to make was when you see him, when you see the suspect, limping down the road as if he's, got something hiding. Well, I was listening to Kalayan Neuer. Do you know who he is?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay, Kalayan Neuer, Colion. I think it was him I heard. And his last name is Noir. He's an NRA spokesperson, a big 2A proponent.
Okay.
And he speculated, I think this was him, he speculated there's no way he could have carried the barrel stuck down his leg because he would be walking with a stiff leg, but he could have the butt of the butt of the gun up against his armpit and the barrel down his thigh. And that would explain the limp. And his right arm was glued to his side.
You're
and
right. We're
so
playing the video back,
right.
and that is consistent with what you're saying to us.
Yeah, and then when he was running away, he obviously had possibly thrown the gun into the bushes because they found it wrapped in a towel or a cloth or something, probably his jacket. So that I thought made a lot of sense.
Have they told us, though, that the bushes they found it in were the bushes by the building? Because I thought we were told it was found in the bushes in the woods.
I think it was in the woods, but I saw a video where someone was taking video from their house, from their backyard.
Right.
And they were watching the FBI searching the bushes of the neighbor's yard, and then they started to come toward their house. So I think that they may have already found the weapon at that point, and they were looking for more evidence. But that's all I could really speculate on.
But do you think he had the weapon with him when he came off that roof?
The video there was so blurry, there was no way to possibly tell. But it looked to me, when he ran away from the building, it looked to me like he had his jacket off, because I saw him taking off the jacket while he was running across the roof of the building or the parking lot. I'm not sure which. But it looked to me like he had something wrapped up in a cloth or his jacket. So he could have, climbed down with that thing wrapped up in his jacket. But I would look up Kalayan Neuer and see what he has to say about it.
I sure will. I'm glad you called in, and say hi to your family there. And great to hear about your wonderful Christian history and heritage you have.
Yeah, praise God. I grew up Pentecostal. I ended up going to a Calvary Chapel for many years on the worship team. And now we're living in Jacksonville, Texas, and we have a wonderful church family there that I've joined forces with. And
well, you're very blessed.
We're certainly praying for the Kirk family and everybody involved.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you called in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. 901-316-8404. 901-316-8404. Who? I'm sorry? Joan calling in. Hi, Joan. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, Brandon. You're welcome. Thanks so much for taking my call, and I don't want to repeat so much, be repetitive. I'm sorry I got in on this.
That's all right. We don't mind that.
Great comment about JFK, and I think because of what happened to Charlie Kirk, it really brings back what JFK said so strongly, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And I think that's where a lot of us are right now, even more so than we were before the tragic assassination.
Yeah. Don't you think that, if they want to clear this up for a lot of us, don't you think they could just come out and say, now look, we believe that he did have the weapon with him when he jumped off, and here's why we believe it, and then try to make the case to us? Because look, if you just watch that right there, okay? Does that look like a towel that has gun parts in it when he throws it down?
Well, I can't look at that at the same time when I'm on.
Right. I'm asking the general audience, but I'm asking the general audience. But go look at that, and then look at how he now pulls it off the roof.
Right. So part of my question was, is it possible that he shoved the bigger portion of the gun off the back of the roof, like one of your callers had said? She thought that was a stupid question, but really you got to look at everything.
Yeah, you
Could
do.
he have slid that off the back? Did he not run toward the back of the building? Could he have slid it quickly and then had those parts in that cloth bag? Because on his left side, you see something swinging on his left side, like a bag or a backpack or something.
Yep. Let me ask Annie. Annie, what do you think?
I still don't believe this guy is carrying any kind of weapon or any kind of rifle with him jumping off that building.
He's got the backpack on his back, right?
There is a backpack. Well, I originally thought what you and Logan said, it's a towel. I thought that was the backpack, for the fact that at my younger age, I used to do a lot of climbing. And normally jumping off that height with a backpack behind you can throw you off balance and you can land wrongly. So I thought it was his backpack. Looking at it again and again, yes, it looks like a jacket or a towel, but there is no sign of that rifle anywhere on him.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't. And if he threw it off the building, he wouldn't come down running that way, would he?
Yeah, he
would
went
go
away
either
from the building.
backward.
Right.
Exactly. Either back of the building to pick up the rifle, wrap it with whatever is in his hand, then run to the woods. Because the report says, it doesn't say they found it behind this building or that building. They found it in the wooded area after, listen to yesterday's, press conference. Governor says, as you can see on this video, he jumps down, goes to the right, crosses the street where he gets to the wooded area. Then where is the rifle? If rifle was found in the wooded area, he should be carrying it somehow. In a backpack, which your first caller said the barrel would be too long for the backpack.
Mm-hmm.
It would be sticking out. In his arm, it's not in his arm. You don't make that jump with a barrel on your leg. There is no way. You see all that bending going on?
Well, yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. And look how he grabs that towel out of that gutter or whatever he is. I mean, that doesn't look like it's got gun parts in it to me.
No, that towel, look, he's going to throw it. Watch it fly down, not land down.
Oh, that's a great point.
Did you
Watch
see the
that.
fly?
Yeah. That's a great point, Annie. Watch this, guys.
Look, it just flew with him.
Yep.
Down. Nothing in that, whatever that is.
There's nothing in that
towel,
thing. He
jacket,
just whipped it back up off the ground. See that? Watch
and
that.
right there, hold it right there. Up. No, go back up for me for a second. Okay. A little forward. Right there, hold it. Both knees bending. That barrel cannot be in the pants. He bent both knees to make the land. So there's no barrel in the pants either. Hands are wide open, so it's not against his body. So where is that gun? Where is that rifle? That later, after crossing that street, if we let the video play, apparently he goes to the right, crosses the street. That other side is the wooded area.
Yeah, I couldn't go along with him jumping with any of those long parts of the gun. He just bends his knees too much. He couldn't do that.
And we know that
when he's getting ready to jump and when he lands, both knees are properly. I can say this guy knows how to run and this guy knows how to jump. That I can vouch for. Because properly he has enough angle of bending the knee to land properly. Or to jump properly at the same time. But if there was a barrel in there, he couldn't manage that angle.
And we know the barrel's too long to fit in the backpack.
Yes. The barrel is too long to fit in a backpack. Even if it was disassembled with the screw and became two parts, the bottom of the rifle could possibly fit in the backpack, but the barrel wouldn't. It would stick out.
Yep. Joan, thank you for calling in.
Well, you're welcome. Thanks so much for your extra programs, and I'll be sending some more money in and passing out more of your business cards.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you. She's talking about going to worldviewfoundation.com and supporting what we do here, folks. And the business cards she mentioned, these are it right here. You can get a stack of 20 of them absolutely free. Worldviewstore.com, get a stack of 20, and then you pass them out. And you just tell your family and friends, hey, there's a network out there called Worldview Tube. And we cover things like this and international news. And we have a reporter on the ground in Israel. And we're just doing all we can. And President Trump has announced today, praise the Lord. Thank you, President Trump. He's sending the National Guard, and if necessary, the military here to the Mid-South, to Memphis. We're right outside of Memphis. And I'm glad because we have the Sinaloa cartel here. That's an international drug cartel that works with China. What is our National Guard for if not to round up
Charlie was kind of on the periphery of my radar as well. I also did not realize how much he was into apologetics, much like yourself. And I wish I had known more because I probably would have supported him more. I actually prioritize organizations that share the gospel and do good, which is why I support both of your ministries.
Well, thank you.
And I would encourage other believers to do that as well. And I also wanted to just really commend you and encourage you and all the other listeners regarding your conference. I am looking forward to being a first-time attendee.
Oh, wow.
Signed up a couple months ago. I actually signed up and paid last year, but was unable to attend at the last minute and really sad about that. So I'm super excited that you're not going to cancel.
No, we're not canceling.
And and I'm just really proud of you for that. I believe this is imperative that we pray up, show up, stand up, and speak up, especially when times get hard.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You know, and I'm going to ask those who can attend, if you cannot attend in person, please join the vault, okay? I need you to join the vault, and you get 35 years of radio shows, TV shows, ebooks, audiobooks, documentaries, all kinds of stuff for 35 years. And we have a brand new Worldview and Bible software we'll be launching very quickly. It's almost done. It's taken us so many years to develop that it's going to blow your mind. Okay, I haven't even gotten to play with it like I'm wanting to, but I'm told by the guy that's been developing it for us that you're not going to believe it, Mr. House.
I'm really looking forward to that. I have
Me
to say,
too.
I am a member of the vault, but I don't want to just get everything. I haven't even had a chance to explore it. I've been supporting for months. I do that to support you.
Well,
I want to use it. I'm just too busy right now caregiving for my mother, and
well, it's going to get easier
from your live
because
podcast.
I have a challenge finding stuff in there. Logan even said it's hard to find stuff in there. So we know it's hard to find stuff because we got 35 years worth of stuff you're digging through, and it's very hard. But the new system coming is going to make it so easy to find stuff. It's going to blow your mind how easy you can find stuff, even out of a 1-hour video. If we talk about something in a 1-hour video, it'll bring it up in a 2-minute clip out of an hour. Here's where he talked about that in 2 minutes with this guest, that guest. I just can't wait. But I want to ask people to join the vault, because we're not canceling our conference, okay?
Right.
But we are having to hire extra security now, okay? We will already not break even on this conference, okay? We're going to lose money on this conference, but we think it's important to do. There's a reason a lot of people don't do conferences, because they're very expensive in this day and age, and you generally lose money. And in this climate, in this economy, we can't go around losing money, okay? But we're not going to even break even on this conference. And now this week, we've had to hire in extra security. Now, the security guys we bring in, they went with us to Milwaukee in April. We had 1,000 people there. These guys protected Pete Hegseth and his family for the 30 days between the time he was nominated and time he was confirmed. Those are the guys we use. They've been in our studio before. They've been here with us. We've had Roger Stone and others here, but they're not cheap. You get what you pay for. And people say, well, Charlie Kirk had great security too. And look what happened. That's right. So we have to be careful, but there will obviously be things that will be considered at our conference now that have never been considered before. Everybody now is thinking a little differently, right? After this assassination. But these guys that we hire, they are not rent-a-cops. They are former special forces. And there are a lot of people that do security that are good. They are very good at being security for certain events, but not for others. And the kind of people we hire are the kind of guys that have protected multiple star generals. So there's I didn't know this until we started working with these people. They're like, well, you can get this bodyguard who does this, or you can get guys like this who their job is, and it's totally different. It's a totally different training set for what you're doing, okay? So what I'm saying is we're going to go forward with the conference. But the guys that we hire, they have experience on the battlefield, dealing with terrorists, dealing with protecting multiple star generals. They know how to secure facilities and events and venues. And we're indoors, but there are people coming and going. So we need to keep this event going, but we need to pay for all of it and try not to bleed too much in losing by hosting the event. And when you join our vault, you're helping with our general operating budget. So please consider doing that. Or making at worldviewtube.com/vault, or making a contribution at worldviewfoundation.com. Closing comment. I'm so glad you called in. We didn't lose it.
I'm a vault member, and I buy products.
You're wonderful.
And support your sponsors. So I would encourage people to do all those. One last thing, Brandon. I do have a few questions around the conference, like attire, since I've never been there, especially for the dinner event. Want to know, I know how you dressed, but I want to know how the attendees are supposed to dress.
Yeah, you don't have to dress up as much as I do. The older I get, the more I dress up to be a distraction. Let's see. Dress would be business casual. Okay, so you don't have to dress up like you're going to a wedding or anything. You can dress up very business casual is what most people do. I'm probably going to be one of the few people wearing a suit and a tie. I'm generally are. I don't generally look around and see anyone else wearing a suit and a tie. So even the banquet, it's a nice banquet, but just come casual.
Okay.
Be comfortable.
Perfect, because I didn't want to show up underdressed. And
No, you're not.
I'm a
No.
retired FedExer, so I know what business casual is.
Yeah, just come business casual. You'll be comfortable.
And one other thing I would
And check the
suggest on
weather
website-
because it could be hot or it could be cool.
Right. I did used to live in that area for a few months.
Oh,
in
so
the 90s,
you know then.
So I'm familiar with that. I would like to suggest one last thing before I go. I had to research a dog kennel because I'm coming with my mom's dog through the area and going back to my house in Pennsylvania from Georgia. So,
did you find? Did Melissa give it to you?
Into.
Did she give it to you?
I know I didn't get a response, and that's okay. I asked a question. I don't think I asked that question. I asked another question, didn't get a response, so I did my own research. But I really hope it's one that you would have recommended.
Well, let me. Do you want to say which one it was? Hey, what dog kennel? I'm on the air.
Yeah,
what dog kennel do we
dog.
recommend for folks coming to the
It
conference?
was Brown Dog Lodge.
Probably the one.
She's going.
Hospital, I would say, where Dr. Horn is.
She's going to Brown Dog Lodge. You know anything about that one?
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Brown Dog Lodge. Okay, the other one I would recommend is.
I tried another one, and they wanted me to come for a pre-visit with the dog, and I said I'm 8 hours away and can't do it. So
Yeah,
anyway,
there's-
I
well,
don't want
if
to hold
they-
up time.
They'll probably be good. Otherwise, Collierville Animal Hospital also has a kennel right behind it.
Oh, okay. Good to know for future reference.
And my vet is in there. Dr. Horn is my vet. And
It'd be great to have that on the website. Just FYI,
Logan,
guys,
can we
in
add
case
that?
other people
Dr.
are-
Horn's Collierville Animal Clinic and their shelter, their kennel. That's I highly recommend them.
Okay. Well, I have my reservation, so I'll probably stick with where we're going.
Yeah.
But for next time.
Yeah, we'll
That'd
put that
be
up.
great
What kind of
to
dog you
have.
got?
He's a Spaniel Lab mix, about 55 pounds.
Spaniel Lab mix. Wow.
Yeah.
Can we go to
He
a
looks
shot?
like a
Can we go
Cocker
to?
Spaniel head on a lab body.
Can we go to the Dolly? Can we go to the Dolly cam? Here's what Dolly's doing today. No? Yes? They're going to turn the camera. Oh, yeah. Go to that shot, boys. There she is. Mm-hmm. She just got a haircut. I just gave her a haircut 2 days ago. Oh, look at that face. Look at that face. What's he doing, Dolly? You want to throw up Dr. Horn there? We're making Dr. Horn famous. Yeah, there's my doc. There's your doctor. She's like, yes, I know who that guy is. There's another one on there, the younger guy. Go down. He's now doing the surgeries. That's the one I think. Is that the one, Dr. McGee? That's the one that did spade you, Dolly. When we had her spayed, I was sick with pneumonia. So I always pick up my own dogs after they're spayed because I want them to know I dropped you off, but I also picked you up. I had a temperature of 103, physically could not do it. Logan went and did it. The doctor, McGee, because Dr. Horn's not doing so many surgeries anymore, but Dr. McGee, there's a nice pet resort on Wolf River. Oh, that one is a nice one too. What's that one called?
Claridge Spa Pet Resort.
The Claridge Spa and Pet Resort?
Yeah, it's like nice.
That's really nice. I've seen that one. That's really nice. Say it again.
The one I got's in Cordova. So
The one you got's in Cordova. The one
Yeah.
she's got is in Cordova. Yeah, I know. This one we're talking about now is in Collierville. You can go over to Cordova if you want, but I would stay in Collierville. But I mean, your dog, you'll be right by us. If you're in Collierville at a hotel, you're going to be right by the dog. What's it called again on 72, Logan?
No, it's on Wolf River.
It's on Wolf River. That's right, Wolf River. Claridge? Claridge Pet Resort. Well, let's put that online, guys, can we? That one is really nice. It's a nice, expensive building. It's a brand new building. Yeah. But anyways, when Logan went to pick up Dolly for being spayed last November, the Dr. McGee had taken a picture because she was whining, so they let her out of the kennel. And when he would walk by, or any of the nurses would walk by, she would roll over on her back and show them her scar. Like, look what you did to me. And they would walk by, and she'd roll back over on her belly and just lay there. And then when they walk by, she'd roll over on her back again, expose her scar. Like, look what you did to me. So anyway,
Exactly.
Dr. McGee said he thought it was pretty funny. So the vet was taking pictures of all that and texting it to my wife and saying, yeah, she's very busy showing her scar off. But yeah, we've had them for almost 21 years as our vets over there. So
Well, and Annie, lest you be left out, I also have cats, so love cats as well. Just don't travel with them.
just don't travel with them. That's exactly right. Thank you. Look forward
I
to
don't
seeing you.
advise traveling with them either.
Yeah, no. Look forward to seeing you soon, and the dog as well. All right, let's go to the back. Let's get those on the website, guys, if you don't mind. Line one, who we got? Tony, line one. Thank you for calling in, Tony. Hi, Tony.
Great to talk with you, Brandon and
Thank you.
Annie.
Thank you.
Just one quick comment about the last caller. We use rover.com a lot, and the nice thing is you can, validate the person who's watching your dog.
Really? Rover.com?
Yep, rover.com. And they would generally go to a person's home. They sometimes will have dogs of their own.
Oh, it's like an Airbnb for dogs.
Yeah. And we usually get feedback from the owner, of pictures and how they're doing and how they're getting along. So,
you know what? America is a great place. Capitalism is alive and well.
For sure.
There you go, Thomas. If a hotel doesn't take you, maybe rover.com will when you travel.
Yeah. So, anyway, my wife and I, just felt so much for Charlie and Charlie's wife and family. I mean, we have kids about Charlie's age, and it just breaks our heart what they must be going through and how she just must be just so, I couldn't imagine what she's going through. That's all. But I did want to mention about that video that was just playing while the guy was jumping down. There was somebody in the background walking quite slowly and calmly when everyone else was running in chaos.
The one we were just showing, the jumping off the roof?
Yeah, if you look in the background, there's another person walking very slowly down the road, and I'm like, that's very odd.
Well, I see two people right there. Each of them are in the background are walking two different directions.
Yeah.
Well, there's a guy walking, someone on the side there, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't running.
There were, in that other video where he's just walking down the neighborhood, there were people walking down the street like they were out for their daily walk,
And also when he starts walking, when he picks up his towel, jacket, whatever, watch as he slows down and regulates his walk as well.
Yeah.
Trying to blend in.
So my comment is just, with Bongino being out there and knowing what kind of background he had as a broadcaster, I would love to see him dig deep into this whole situation and get this info out to the public. So
100%.
That's my note.
100%.
Because I was going to call about, Charlie Kirk running for president, but because I heard a lot of that myself too. But, obviously that's not for the future now, and it is such a shame.
Yeah, it really is. And it is interesting how many people are saying that he was going to be presidential material very soon. Well, of course, he wasn't old enough yet. Got to be 35, as the caller's already indicated. But it wouldn't have been very long before that would have been the case. And if certainly not presidential, vice presidential, which puts him one heartbeat away. So, yeah, those things all have to be in the consideration. Yep. Thank you. So glad you called in.
You bet. Thank you.
901-316-8404. Back to line 4. Rebecca is calling in on line 4. Hi, Rebecca. Thank you for calling in.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I sure can.
Okay, I'll be quick. An ex-Air Force veteran, he tracks flights, private jet flights, anybody can see. And the night before the assassination from Page Airport in Arizona to Provo was a flight 10 to 12:30 a.m. And then the day of, I can't remember when the flight came in, but it left right at 5 minutes after the assassination. And rumor that Monkey is the handle he goes by.
Is that Monkey Works? Monkey Works?
Yes. He said, that Charlie was thinking about running for governor, and you know how that is in Arizona, the government right there. So he's kind of connecting it there. And then, of course, everybody thinks who they picked up is Antifa and, has ties with that, too. But yeah, so I hope they get to the bottom of it. But he was hoping that the FBI would look at those flights, try to figure out because it couldn't have been his security because they wouldn't leave 5 minutes after he got shot. And so that he said that wasn't enough time because it's 5 minutes from where Charlie, the university, this Bravo, that wouldn't have been enough time for the kid to even get to them. So somebody left promptly 5 minutes after.
I just pulled this up. FBI under pressure over open airport 5 miles from Charlie Kirk assassination hit as private jet, quote, vanishes after the shooting.
Yes.
What I read was that they had turned off their transponder, which I think is illegal. I think that's illegal.
Yeah, well, you can see the flights on, I mean, not to direct somebody to Monkey's channels, but he just shows that.
Monkey Works shows it, doesn't he?
Yeah, so I didn't hear it from Candace Owen, but I listened to, the other one that's a little bit more reasonable. But I'm going to jump off the phone.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that, Brandon.
Thank you. Let me bring in Annie real quick for she has to jump. Annie, there are people out there, of course, speculating that that was Israel. That Israel sent in assassins to take out Charlie Kirk, and then they were getting out. I mean, the stupidity of this. I don't believe it
I
for 1
actually
minute.
wanted to address that before hopping
Please.
off, just in case
Please.
if I don't get a chance to jump back in. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there are so many people call themselves conservative Christians who are saying this was Israel. The one narrative is, oh look, Ben Shapiro just said he just took over Turning Point USA. He's a Jew. The reason they killed Kirk was Israel. Jews killed Kirk, Charlie Kirk, so Ben Shapiro could take over Turning Point USA. I disagree with Ben on things. I agree on a lot of things. I'm not his friend. He's not my friend either. But Ben Shapiro's career doesn't need ownership of Turning Point USA. Let's just put that out there. Ben Shapiro did not need, nor did he announce his taking over. What he said on his video, tribute to Charlie Kirk's, was, I will gladly step into every college campus and speak in your honor. That is not taking over Turning Point USA. And by the way, they just canceled 4 of his events. So that's for that narrative. Use your brain cells. The other narrative of Israel, you know how it is, Brandon, right? All the chaos we face in our country is because of Jews. Israel killed Charlie Kirk to create chaos and civil war. Name one thing that Israel would benefit from if there was a civil war in America.
Yeah, that's right.
None. While everybody, including us, is covering what's happening with the assassination and all of that, I'm also tracking what's happening in the Middle East. And guess what? Netanyahu is at it. He's doing a great job over there, not waiting for anybody to come to rescue. They have definitely rattled the Houthis yesterday to where they're actually hiding right now. I should add, while Israeli military is making advance in Gaza, pushing Houthis back and rattling Hezbollah while taking out Hamas leaders in Qatar, we did send our representatives to Damascus today to work with the jihadi president of Damascus to get rid of ISIS. Not trying to hijack the topic, but you see where I'm going with this, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
We are in Damascus again, in Syria, trying to make Syria great again. But for anybody, again, use your reasoning. If there's a reasoning left, we sit here on our own platforms, writings, videos, interviews, talk about how left has gone crazy because they stopped using common sense. Well, it doesn't look like it's any better on the right either.
No.
When you don't use common sense and just automatically put a Ben Shapiro and a Star of David next to each other and say, this was the reason behind assassination of Charlie Kirk, right there you have joined the left ideology. You just don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm. And again, I want to reiterate, the FBI didn't catch this guy. His dad turned him in. So I want to know why it is the FBI wasn't able to use facial recognition and all the things we're told that our government has in the intelligence arena to find people, but they couldn't find this guy. I mean, I know it can be hard to find people. I'm just saying we're always told about how great our intelligence arena is and our military to find people, to track them down. And they couldn't find this guy even after the picture came out in facial recognition and everything. And yet there were people, once they got the picture, who were online saying, boy, it looks like this guy, it looks like this guy. And of course, the dad turned him in. I want to know, what did the FBI, Annie, is what I'm really asking is, did the FBI actually know who this guy was before they actually arrested him?
I think they did. Don't they always know who their patsy is?
Well, I keep waiting for them to come out and say, oh, yeah, we actually had a run-in with this guy before. Oh, yeah, he was on our radar. That's usually what comes out, right?
Yes, but as of right now, everything you can find is online researchers have found his mom's Facebook page showing that he was not some radical kid who had good grades at a school and was a good kid, and mom was very proud. And as I send you the picture, dad seemed to be a conservative American loving from the t-shirt and all that. So I don't know. I'm waiting to see how they're going to connect this guy to this scenario, because we still haven't heard about the motive, right?
Right. Well,
what are they going to drop in there as motive?
Todd Starnes, is right here in our backyard, here in the Mid-South. Todd just put out a while ago. He says the assassination of Charlie Kirk was a conspiracy. Only one man pulled the trigger, but many more were responsible for putting the bullets into that weapon. We need to know how this animal was radicalized. Every professor, every leftist group that groomed this monster should also face charges. They didn't create him in a vacuum. And again, I think a lot of people...
but Brian, how it is. Which, by the way, I don't know why the word radicalized is so thrown around in every scenario of our life, but fine. I don't think this guy was radicalized. I really don't. Where is the evidence? Normally, the moment the face and name is released, immediately all over social media, you see their track record, right? Their transgender posts, their hatred posts, something. You can't find anything of any online trace of this Tyler Robinson being radicalized. That's where the narrative is falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
Parents conservative. Apparently now on the Facebook page of mother shown that also Christian. Father hands over the son. There is no a trace of him. No picture of him with LGBTQ or Antifa or wearing any kind of radical clothing, anything. So where is this radicalized coming from?
Mm-hmm. And before I let you go, take a look at this, guys. This is in Germantown. This is just not far from me at all, a couple miles. This was last night in Germantown. That is a vigil last night for Charlie Kirk. 600 showed up at a local park in Germantown, Tennessee. The guy that put it on is the friend of one of our guys in the control room. And 600 young people and adults showed up last night. What's that? It's Memphis Young Republicans. What park was that, guys? That's right. That's just a couple miles from us. I just don't know anything about the park. We live right on the Germantown line. There you go. Which one was it?
Germantown Municipal.
Oh, it's Germantown Municipal Park. Okay. And the pavilion, yeah. Annie, I need to let you go.
Yes, I do need to get ready to produce a show.
Yeah,
but,
and I need to get ready to do the Worldview Report.
Yes, and then you have your radio.
So we have our radio show at 1 o'clock.
Brown House Live.
And we still have a full day. I've already done my full day right here, haven't I, Logan? Can I take off the rest of the day? We just run this. I've been on for 3 hours.
Breaking news.
Wow. Hey, can I just rerun this 3 hours for Brandon House Live and call it a day? He says, if you want.
Well, see, you do have a good boss,
yeah,
Brandon.
That's right.
He does consider it. But I do want to say something, last comment before I go. not long ago, very recently on your show, Brennan, I said, I have a very, very strong feeling that there will be a revival for our youth in this country. Do you remember that discussion?
I do. I absolutely do.
Let's just say this. I think this was it.
Well, this could be a spark because as someone has already stated tonight, it was actually today, was Zoe, the blood of the martyrs is often the water that feeds the seed of the gospel. So
yes. And if you look online, a huge number of younger generation, I don't even know what they're called anymore between generations, but, you know, like Logan age, they are talking politics. They are coming in. They have shifted from, you know, Netflix favorite show post to actual talk and discussion after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So, again, I do pray for his family and everybody, millions of young Americans who looked at him and followed him as a leader. And I pray that the right person, it is impossible to replace him, but the right person pick up the torch and continue the path. Because our kids do need that leadership.
Yep, absolutely. liveuptofreedom.substack.com, liveuptofreedom.substack.com. Thank you for being on with me this morning, Annie.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brennan. I will let you know as soon as I free up with the production. And if you need me back on, I will be ready to go.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sure. Do we have any more callers? I'm going to wrap here in a minute because we got to get ready for Rich, line 3. We got to get ready for Tamara Scott to come in here. Rich on line 3. Rich, thank you for calling in, Rich.
Yeah, just real quick, guys. Just calling in. You were looking at that gun. That reminds me of one that I have. It's a Remington 700. Which is the same caliber, the 30-06, and the typical barrel length is anywhere between 22 to 26 inches long on that thing, and it is not easy to get out.
Remington 700, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I want to look it up real quick.
I don't typically tear mine apart completely to take the barrel off because it is a pain, so I only do that maybe once or twice a year.
So I'm going to show, I don't know if you can see the screen. I just popped up the a picture of it. Bolt action Remington 700, long range. So that's the kind of gun it is, and you have that kind of gun.
Yes. Yep.
And Rich, how long do you think it would take you to take that apart, to break it down?
Oh, if I broke it down completely, at least 5 minutes.
What if you broke it down just enough to try to, conceal it?
That would still be tough. I mean, you're still talking 3-4 minutes at least.
And we see from the time Charlie was shot to the time that he gets off the roof is just 3 minutes. And then
and there's no way it doesn't line up.
It doesn't.
And another thing that I question is the shot placement to the throat. That's either you're a really bad shot and you got lucky with the hit, or you're a trained professional. Because you typically aren't trained to hit a small part like that for a shot. You're looking at center body mass, head, something of a bigger target zone than the throat neck area.
And if you hit that artery, I mean, there's just no saving you.
There's not, but that's a precise shot if you do that.
This gun, the Remington 700, it's a gun you use to hunt what, deer?
Yeah, deer, elk. I've even known people use it for bear.
Even bear? The shirt rising up and his body rising up before we actually start seeing blood. How do you explain that to the lay people that are asking that online?
I would say that's probably the percussion. That bullet goes fast, and in my opinion, that went clear through him. So that bullet is somewhere in that general vicinity.
That's a very interesting point you just bring up there, right there, Rich. Has anyone said that they have found the bullet? Have we heard any of the police say they retrieved the bullet and they've matched it to the gun? Has anyone heard that report?
Not to my knowledge.
Wouldn't that be important to do, to match the bullet to that gun? Isn't that standard procedure in a murder trial or a murder investigation? Absolutely it is. Rich, thank you for calling in. Where do you live, Rich?
Yep. Michigan.
Michigan. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks.
Rich checking in. Is that it, guys? I don't want to have anyone left holding. Okay, good. I didn't want. Yeah, you want to? Okay, I didn't want anyone holding that, and then not let them get on, because I appreciate all of you guys calling in. What are we about to play, Logan? Yeah, you want to play it? Let's play this real quick. Here we go. Logan's got to bring it up here. It's an
First,
AI video.
I want you to know I'm fine, not because my body is fine, but because my soul is secure in Christ. Death is not the end. It's a promotion. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. I knew the risks of standing up in this cultural moment, and I'd do it all over again. Second, do not let this violence divide us further. The enemy wants chaos, fear, and retaliation. Don't give it to them. Instead, double down on truth. Double down on courage. Double down on your faith and on your families. That is how you honor me. Third, remember this. America is worth it. Free speech is worth it. Fighting for the unborn, for families, for sanity in a culture gone mad, it is all worth it. So dry your tears, pick up your cross, and get back in the fight. Do it with joy. Do it with strength. And never ever let evil think it won.
Wow, that's AI, folks, but there you go. Can't argue with that at all. Seems consistent with what he lived. All right, so today we're gonna have Roger Stone, if the interview holds with all of our crazy schedules. Roger Stone is going to be a guest of mine for Brandon House Live tonight, and we'll be going to work with booking up all the other guests in regards to the suspect they have arrested, and in regards to the big news for us here in the Mid-South. President Trump has announced today that he is sending in the National Guard to Memphis and, if necessary, the military. And as a constitutionalist, I'm all for it, because I believe what we're dealing with here in many of our cities, and particularly here in Memphis, is there are communist groups here. No doubt about it. Trevor Loudon can tell about that. We have communist groups here in the Mid-South that are operating, and we have drug cartels that have ties to international gangs and the CCP. So this is a massive national security issue for our major cities in America, where our enemies, foreign enemies, are working with drug cartels to bring down America in a drug war. And who else can clean it up other than our National Guard? As much as I appreciate some of the folks on the Memphis Police Department, no, they can't. They were given the chance. They didn't do it. Even the governor of the state is too late. He's way too late. Only sent in, I think, 50 state troopers after President Trump was talking about sending them in here. So I'm sorry, he had his chance. Now President Trump can do it. And I'm thankful for that. Thank you, President Trump. So we're going to cover all that tonight as well on Brandon House Live. I want to thank all of you for tuning in for this unexpected broadcast. We did not expect to do this morning, but with all the breaking news, I said, let's go to the desk. And so thank you to Logan. Thank you to Thomas for producing this on the fly. And thank you to you guys for calling in. Thank you to Annie. And we will be back with more. If you appreciate all we're doing, folks, at the very least, can you go to worldviewstore.com and just order a pack of these business cards and pass them out? Just order a pack of them. And you get rid of them, order another pack. Some of you email in and say, just send me 50. I can get rid of all those. That's fine, too. You can do that. But if you do it through our store, it prints a label and everything, makes it very easy for us. So order the quantities for free. They're free at worldviewstore.com. Then finally, if you appreciate all we're doing, on the air for 7.5 hours on the night of the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, on the air so many hours yesterday and today. If you appreciate all we're doing, all we're pushing out, we need your support. One way you can do it is worldviewfoundation.com. So thank you for doing that. Worldviewfoundation.com. We do need your extra support right now because we are going to have to bring in extra security for our national conference coming up October 3rd and 4th. Others are canceling their events. You've heard Ben Shapiro's canceling multiple events. We're not going to do that. I've talked to some of the folks, not only on our team, but folks in the area who are big supporters of ours, who say we cannot let these people win. You got to go forward. But we need everybody safe and secure. Gordon Chang coming in here, the man that brought in the 5 red heifers to Israel, all the different speakers coming in. We need them all to be safe. We need our folks to be safe that are attending. So we got a responsibility there. So we are going to have to bring in more security. So help us out with our foundation to help cover some of the cost of that so we can keep this thing going forward. Worldviewfoundation.com, worldviewfoundation.com. All right. We're going to have Tamara Scott coming up here at the top of the hour, noon Central, 1 Eastern Standard. Then I'll be back at 1 o'clock Central, 2 Eastern Standard. Then we've got Colonel Rob Maness. It just keeps rolling on, folks. And then, of course, the Washington Report, Worldview Report, Brandon House Live. And we'll break in as necessary for any major breaking news. We try not to interrupt our normal host, but with major breaking news, we will break in and bring you coverage like we have done now for over 3 hours this morning. I'm going to go get ready for the Worldview Report and see what the team has been putting together, as well as get ready for Brandon House Live. But again, thank you so much for tuning in, for your support, for your kind words, your prayers, and for your phone calls today. It's been a long time since we have opened up the phone lines. That was good to do today, to hear from so many of you. It's encouraging to your host and all of us in the control room, by the way, when we do that, to know you're listening. It puts a much, much bigger perspective on it for us and makes it very personal. So you can't imagine how much opening the phone lines help us know that you guys are there and you appreciate us. So we need to do that more. We really do. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm Brandon House. May God save America. Take care.
The spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low-crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school. While also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Our country was founded on common law because the Declaration only refers to God 4 times in the Constitution. It doesn't refer to God at all. And it only articulates the structure of government.
So first of all, remember that we were a collection of states and colonies, and you need to read the state constitutions before anything else. 13 out of 13 required a declaration of faith. In almost every single one of the original state constitutions, they had, I profess Lord and Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Secondly, 55 out of 56 of the original signers of the Declaration were Bible-believing, church-attending Christians. You asked about common law. Well, let's go to 3 principles of common law: presumption of innocence, due process, and jury of your peers. All 3 are biblical principles. So, and all wrapped into the ultimate biblical principle that you shall not favor justice if you are rich or poor, which is in Leviticus 19, which is the idea of blind justice, which is incorporated also in the New Testament ideal. Neither slave nor Greek nor Jew, you are all one in Jesus Christ, which is the idea of human equality. These are all biblical ideas, but more importantly than that, they say that God was only mentioned 4 times in the Declaration of Independence. Well, that's a big deal. John Adams famously said the Constitution was only written for a moral and religious people. It was wholly inadequate for the people of any other. The body politic of America was so Christian that our form and structure of government was built for the people that believed in Christ our Lord. One of the reasons we're living through a constitutional crisis is that we no longer have a Christian nation, but we have a Christian form of government, and they're incompatible. So you cannot have liberty if you do not have a Christian population.
Because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully, because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assaults. The left.
The left.
Yes, the campus Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Okay, so what's your goal in all this?
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity.
Grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over